But I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
Hanging from a thread till you dead, cause your partner put a price on your head, cause your chick was laying up in his bed. She getting details, spilling every word that you said. She working retail, thirsty bitch just trying to get ahead. If history tell us anything, y'all both end up dead. It's just a street tale of fable, some shit someone said. Sit at the table and hope there's more to offer than bread. Pulled out the cradle, first steps you getting chased by a fed. No head starts, just body parts and lead sparks. Old religion, brand new hate and weak hearts. Oligarchs, krakens, dragons, you see sharks. Imagine you could manage to maneuver the deep parts. You a savage, you can have it, just show all your teeth sharp. If you could grab it, you could stab it, just aim for the bleeding heart. The ones that show compassion, a soldier that seeks art. Does the artist that wage war take over or take part? Taking a knee, thinking no one faithful is me. I'm good people in bad lands, no evil live within me. I mind mine, I'll survive, find this land's for the free. If I'm mistaken, I'm forsaken, no one rescuing me. Residual effects, stray bullets through familiar necks. For any number of infractions that I deem disrespect. Your beliefs, you deserve better, but we both in the shit. You just haven't come to grips with it yet. Fight or flight, and they ain't really nowhere to go. If your back is against the wall and you ain't throwing no blows, you gon' crumble in the rubble, become blood in the snow. If you a victim, they collect them, grab the body and go. Dig them and ditch them, total disregard for the soul. Gas them and lit them, watch the flesh burn in the glow. Where we live and catch a shivering, it's a hell you don't know. Your best hope is that your dying ain't slow, or your dying's a show. Where we at, it's every man for his own. A bloody backdrop, where killers just zone and slice flesh to the bone. Masked and gloved up front of your home. A flash of gun, but the side of your dome. Fresh blood from a stone, dents in your sense. Kick your fucking ball through the fence, dare you to say something. No sense in sitting around in suspense. Find out what's next, open your fucking mouth, disrespect. See the extent of how my life is intense. She beautiful and oppressed in a permanent summer dress. She a servant and still she blessed. Children cradled against her breast, whispering prayers, wishing their souls the best, knowing that they forgotten, not forgetting they're blessed. The bloodiest red lights, just piles of dead life. Something must be broken, the glyphs wasn't read right. You think them Bible papers will shed light? Yeah, right. Burn after reading, tell the preacher I'm leaving.
But I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
What is poppin', people? Welcome back to the Ill Cartel. I am your host, Shy Ill, and we are back in the building. Salutes to you on this lovely Tuesday evening. Hope everybody's having a great day and got a good start to their week, getting that money.
The greatest trick, but
Million. That million. Salutes to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being here today. We got a couple of things to discuss quickly on this Tuesday evening. Salutes to y'all. What is poppin', people? Welcome. All right, good to see y'all. Glad to be with y'all. All right, we got some stuff to cover today. What is popping to the chat? All right, salutes. YouTube is doing a lot of updates and moving things around, but if you look right beneath the screen, you'll see the live chat. Y'all can jump up in that live chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button. All right, that helps us keep making videos and doing live streams and all that good stuff. So make sure you hit that like button. We just hanging out here to do
But I want to do hood rat stuff for my friend.
All right. What is popping? Salutes to y'all. Shout out Vernon Himes on the check-in. Appreciate you. Salute Shannon. Shannon in the building first. Appreciate you. Shout out Big June. Salutes to you, sir. I send mines back. Salute. Shout out Raven. What's popping, Raven? Good to see you. All right. What is good? I'm waiting for the El Tubo to send out notifications. A couple more notifications. I sent out the Discord notification, so we gravy. Again, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to join our Discord, I will drop the Discord link in the chat. Shout out to the Nightbot for being consistent. All right, boom. What is popping, y'all? All right, hope everybody's having a great day. It's a cold one in the shy. We got a bunch of frozen snow out there. All right, that ugly snow when it get gray and dirty and shit. All right, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through another winter together. Shout out Velez on the check-in. ¿Qué dice, plebada? Un periquito es martes. Relax. It's not viernes. It's not viernes. For the periquito ping ping. Relax. Take it. You got to relax. Saca la bolsita. All right? Smoke them if you got them. Drink them if you got them. If you're sober, here's a hug from me to you. Safe travels to everybody out there on the road. Salute to all the truck drivers catching the replay game. Safe travels. Shout out Big June. I agree. Hit that like button, people. The channel deserves the love. I appreciate it. All right. Shout out Velez. We're ready to wild out on a Tuesday. It's martes. All right. It's martes. All right. Wait for a couple more people to pop in. Today we're going to talk about one solitary situation, one solitary topic for today. We're going to talk about everything surrounding Joaquín Guzmán López, son of El Pocha, right? For those that are new, that is our code name for El Chapo. I can't say that word too many times on this stream. I had to get demonetized. Right? Maybe that was enough. And for those that don't know, Mayo, we will be referring to as Yoma. El Yoma. All right? We're going to talk about that. We're going to break that down from the beginning. All right? We're going to break that down from the beginning. We're going to talk about a couple of things that, make sense after seeing how things play out. All right? Salute. Safe travels to everyone, indeed. Indeed. Again, hundreds up in the chat for y'all. I appreciate y'all. All right, let me get this. Get this recording going. Yo, listen to this guy, man. It's cold as fuck out here. 60 degrees out here in the Bay, too. 60 degrees, papa. That's summertime shy shit right there. Like, what are you talking about, man? Where we at? We 19 degrees right now, man. 19 degrees right now. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Okay? 60 degrees. Boy, I'll be outside fucking chanclas and a tank drinking a cerveza outside. 60 degrees. 60 degrees is amazing. 60 degrees is amazing. Let me hit the Twitch stream. Bow. Starting up on Twitch. Starting up on Kick. I always forget to. I gotta put that on automatic. I always forget to do that. All right, let me hit this recording. Again, salutes to y'all. All right, remind the usual suspects when they get in the building, hit that like button today. Let me hit this record here. Let me hit this record here. All right. I'm going to break it down for the people that don't know what's going on, the people that are new to the situation, okay? Once upon a time, there were two major rug lords, right? That's another code word. And one was Pocha, one was Yoma, okay? Their factions together, along with the Beltran Labor Organization, were known as the Sinaloa Bartel. Yet another code word, right? It's an organization that I believe was built on betrayal from the very beginning. And we've talked about that a whole lot. Well, as you know, Pocha was arrested by the United States government and put in the ADX penitentiary. Okay? He was in prison in Mexico. He escaped through a tunnel. All that good stuff. Sean Penn, and Kate del Castillo went out there. He got popped off again. He got sent to the United States. All right? We also know that the Flores twins testified against him. Throughout that time, Yoma's son, Vicente, was also arrested. He got talked on, and he did some talking against Pocha. These are people who consider each other godsons and godfathers and cousins and friends, and but he had to testify against Pocha, and he did. This is Yoma's son. Bad blood was not born probably there, but began to heat things up. He did his time, Vicente, Yoma's son. He did his time. He went home, whatever. What remained of Pocha on the streets of Sinaloa was his four sons, Joaquín Guzmán López, Ovidio Guzmán López, Alfredillo, and Ivan, right? Joaquín and Ovidio of the same mother, Alfredo and Ivan of the same mother, okay? Last year, about a year ago, but it was June 25th or July 25th, one of the two, we got word that Yoma, who was always known as the untouchable, the unseen, the unheard, a man who was at the top for over 40 years and was barely heard from, barely seen, barely had a problem. Where we got word, oh man, he's on American soil and in the custody of the United States government. We were on it that day. We had Jay Flores, I believe, on that day. And a lot of people believed that Yoma, went out of his way to say, I miss my children. I wanna see my children before my time is done on this planet. That's what people were saying. So he turned himself in.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
We knew it was bullshit day one. Here's the story. Here's the in a nutshell first, right? Story is, Joaquín Guzmán López, one of the sons of Pocha, arrived on U.S. soil with Yoma in an airplane, in a private jet, and was met by U.S. law enforcement on the tarmac of an airport. I forget exactly. I believe it landed like in New Mexico or something, then crossed over to Texas, something like that. I don't recall. And Instantly, people were like, yeah, he turned himself in. They would never catch him. He's untouchable. Bullshit. Everybody's touchable. Everybody's touchable. Period. So, all the speculation in the world was out there about, oh, he did this out of pure love for his family. Listen, there's no way that man in his 80s or late 70s or whatever wanted to go to prison. Okay? We had a million questions. They disclosed that Joaquin was on that plane, which is Pocha's son, and they disclosed that Yoma was on that plane. But we never heard word of that pilot. And we've been making jokes about it ever since. Was it a Mexican Bartel pilot that got there and then cut the engine and jumped out and ran and jumped the fence back into Mexico? I doubt that. Now, the Mexican government often said, hey, man, we don't know what happened. The United States government isn't telling us anything. We don't know if they had help. We don't know if this was a clandestine operation between the United States government and the Chapitos. The Chapitos is the faction. If you hear me say the Chapitos is the faction of Pocha's kids. And the hats, right? Or if I say pizzas, it's the Chapitos. It's very confusing to those that don't know. And if I say the hats, that's Yoma's kids. But everybody had a theory. And we wondered where that guy was at, and we wondered who was in cahoots with who. Was the U.S. government in cahoots with Joaquin to make this happen, to get Yoma on American soil and put him in custody so that they got not only Pocha, but they got Yoma right there next to him? But we always talked about the pilot. Where'd the pilot go, though, man? Huh? And people say, oh, he just flew over. America is not letting planes just fly over. They knew he was coming, and they met him there, right? So they knew something was coming. And I always believed that the pilot was an American pilot. Shout out Big June, CIA pilot. All right? Now, if you recall, a couple years earlier, Joaquin's brother, Ovidio, was caught in Mexico somewhat accidentally. It's like they didn't think that they were going to get a hold of him, and they did. And what did they do? They locked him up, and what happened? The Chapitos destroyed the city. All right, it was called Culiacanazo. The prison in Culiacan was, the city of Culiacan was held hostage, basically. Okay? It was held hostage, basically. They went to war. They were blowing shit up. Officers and soldiers were unalived. And guess what? They let them go. They let them go. That's the state of Mexico for a long time. Where you can just tear it down. They're going to let them go. So they let him go. Then it happened another time. He got popped off again. They let him go. Oh, no, they didn't let him go this time. It was the other brother. He got popped off before, too. And snatched before, too. These guys always got a way out. Well, after that Culiacanazo, and then on to the second one where they finally said, no, we got to extradite him to the United States. They sent him to the United States, Ovidio, where he awaited his trial. In that time while he's there, this Joaquin airplane shows up with Yoma, and all of us hypothesized that, okay, he brought, maybe, we knew, the people with common sense knew that Yoma was snatched, that he did not come here of his free will. While people were trying to convince us that he came here of his free will, we was like, nah, that's not what happened. Bullshit. Mm-hmm. He got snatched by his quote-unquote godson. Okay? By his quote-unquote godson. He got snatched. Okay? And we believe that that was the case. And then everybody's like, nah, that couldn't have happened. Because if that's what happened, the streets of Sinaloa would be riddled with hammer shots and blood. And I'm sorry, I can't say all these words. I get demonetized on YouTube. But you get the drift. It's impossible that he was snatched. There would be war. And my thought was, well, you don't just go to war. You don't just go half-cocked and just start busting at everybody. You make sure this, that, the other, and then, there's protocols involved. We waited. And what happened? A month, maybe more. The shit went up in Sinaloa, and it's been up ever since. It's been Ivan and Alfredo, the brothers that remain, the sons of Pocha that remain in the cartel, in the life, in the bartel, versus Maito Flaco, which is Yoma's son, that's left out there and in the game. And war finally kicked off. And even then, I didn't get no apologies for all the people that called me stupid because I said he was snatched. Impossible. He could never be snatched. Right? Couple of days after he was locked up, he put out a message through his lawyer and said, I was snatched. Okay? Again, I'll break it down for those that don't know. This is the story that was officially told by him through his lawyer. And I'll give you pieces of what we were getting at the time. All right? Story goes as because people were saying all kind of way out shit that Joaquin asked the old man to come check out and scout some areas for landing strips. And man, that old man ain't doing no work, man. That old man ain't doing no work. He ain't talking to nobody about no shit like that. Our understanding was that Joaquin asked Yoma to come and settle a problem between the current governor of Sinaloa, El Rocha.
Oye, ¿y el Rocha? ¿Y el Rocha? Bueno, ¿y el Rocha?
And what some thought would be, I believe, the future governor of Sinaloa, Hector Melesio Quinn, right? They had a problem, and Joaquin told Yoma, come with me to fix this problem. This just shows you how much the Bartel's hands are involved in the politics of all this shit. Okay? The old man said yes, and he took him. Now, we were told, and shout out JP. JP brings this up on a regular basis, and he's right. We were told that Hector Melesio Quinn just coincidentally was unalived the same day that Joaquin supposedly snatched Yoma at their meeting between Rocha.
Oye, ¿y el Rocha?
Anybody seen him?
I ain't seen him. Bueno, ¿y el Rocha?
And Melesio Quinn, right? That supposedly the same day Melesio Quinn just miraculously was unalived at a gas station. And we didn't buy it instantly when we heard it. And then Sinaloan government prosecutors, state's attorneys put out a video of something happening at a gas station. A man pulling up in a truck, somebody opening the door, closing the door, leaving, the truck pulling off, everybody pulling off. And they told us that was the video of him being robbed and unalived. And we called bullshit immediately.
Bullshit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Immediately. Okay? Now, I want to find, let me look at the statement. Let's get the letter that Yoma wrote initially. Okay? Because this is his side of the story. This is what he said happened. Right? Again, salute to y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Shout out my brother Oso in the building. Who else? Shout out Velez, Big June. Abrazos no balazos, indeed. I want to find Mayo's letter. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Let me see. It was August 13th, 2024. Let's see. See, you got everybody telling the story here. I want to read his letter here, but we could probably do it from there. Let's get it. Here we go. Boom. Do that. Do this. Let's get it. 2 pages were enough for El Yoma Zambada to blow the official version. The official version was that Melesio Quinn was unalived in that gas station. Okay? 2 pages were enough for Ismael El Yoma Zambada to blow the official version of his capture in the United States out of the water, and in the process, shake up Sinaloa's political chessboard. El Yoma's letter, released by his lawyer Frank Perez on Saturday, forced Ruben Rocha Moya, President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, and President-elect Claudia Sheinbaum to take a stand just hours after its publication. At the center of the scandal is the unaliving of Hector Melesio Quinn, Rocha's political rival, made public on the same day as the arrest of the 76-year-old rug lord and Joaquín Guzmán López, one of the sons of El Pocha. Zambada claims that he was going to meet with both men on the day of his surprise arrest, that the Sinaloa Bartel leadership was going to settle a conflict at the state's main public university, and that one of his bodyguards was a commander in the state judicial police. His uncorroborated statements have sparked controversy over the influence of organized crime in Mexico's public affairs and have provided a first warning of the scope of a potential deal between El Yoma and the U.S. authorities. El Yoma says the meeting was scheduled for 11 a.m. Now, mind you, all right, this relationship between the Chapitos and their quote-unquote godfather, Uncle Yoma, was in existence, but it was fractured and it was rough because there were young, rich Bartel kids. Meanwhile, he's the old man that played the game by silence and never got popped off, and not silence, and paid out a whole lot to government officials and police by his own admission, his own cooperation, his own words in a courtroom. Okay, the bosses cooperate. Don't believe anything else. These guys have had conversations and sat down with their children and told them when the shit hits the fan and it's time, if you have to talk, you talk. And this is how you do it. Miss me with this code of honor bullshit that y'all be talking about. Says the meeting was scheduled for 11 a.m. on July 25th at Huertas de Pedregal, a luxurious event hall on the outskirts of Culiacán, the state capital and a stronghold of the Sinaloa Bartel. In addition to the politicians, Ivan Archibaldo Guzman, leader of the Chapitos, the Bartel faction commanded by Pocha's sons, was scheduled to attend. All right, so I don't remember that part. I don't know if he did attend. I don't know if he mentions that he's seen him. I don't remember that. Facts. Velez says, snatched up at 11 a.m. and was in the U.S. by lunchtime. And we were live, what, an hour later? Ivan was also scheduled to attend. Zambada greeted Quinn, a longtime friend of mine, which he says, moments before meeting Guzmán López, whom I've known since he was a child, and who asked El Yoma to follow him. A group of men assaulted me, threw me to the ground. This was blasphemy in the eyes of people that did not believe what we believed, that he was snatched. This was blasphemy to them. They couldn't believe it. A group of men assaulted me, threw me to the ground, and put a dark-colored hood over my head, said the rug lord of the alleged ambush. Now, sounds like there's corroboration about exactly how that went down. According to Yoma's version, he was placed in the bed of a pickup truck and taken to an airstrip about 20 minutes away, where he boarded the private plane in which he was delivered to the United States by his former partner. I know that the official version given by the Sinaloa state authorities is that Hector Quinn was shot the night of July 25th at a gas station, ironically, by two men who wanted to steal his pickup truck.
Bullshit.
Reads the capo's statement. That's not what happened. They unalived them at the same time and in the same place where they snatched me. Governor Rocha denied having been present. If they said I was going to be there, they lied. That's what Rocha said. That's what Rocha said. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. If they said I was going to be there, they lied. And if he believed them, he fell into the trap. Rocha said during a visit by Lopez Obrador and Cyberbomb to the state. Rocha was careful not to give any statement at the insistence of the media and consulted with the president before providing his version of events. The governor had said days before that he was not in Sinaloa on the day of Zambada's arrest and Quinn's murder. Quinn's unaliving. He claims he took a flight to Los Angeles around 9 a.m., 2 hours earlier in the timeline that Yoma lays out. Rocha took a plane belonging to private company Servicio Ejecutivos Aureos Vis, owned by a former deputy of the ruling PRI party, Jesus Vizcarra, and his brothers, along with two of his 4 children, 2 wives and 2... I don't need his whole fucking life story. According to information published by which had access to the flight logs. Doubts about the governor's whereabouts had emerged because he had not given concrete details of his visit to California. On the official page of the state government of Sinaloa, there was a gap in the press release with notes from July 24th and 26th detailing his activities, but not from July 25. Huh? Dirty, rotten scoundrels, boy. I am out of the state, and from a distance I've been informed by the Secretary of Public Security of the regrettable event in which the teacher, Hector Melesio Quinn Ojeda, former rector of the Autonomous University of Sinaloa, lost his life, said the governor in a video recorded and published on his social networks in the early morning of July 26th, in which he did not clarify where he was. What's up? You was already back July 26th? You went to Cali for dinner? What happened? What you was doing in Cali, Rocha? Huh? For those that don't know, Rocha is what people believe, allegedly, so plugged in with these chapitos that there's a lot of questions on his head, and some believe he won't make it through this war breathing. Recently, his car was attacked. His bodyguards were attacked, and guess who was in the car? His granddaughter. He almost lost his granddaughter. And you know what he said? It was an attempted carjacking. Got nothing to do with nothing. Miss me with the bullshit. The first account linking Quinn's unaliving to Zambada's arrest was published on July 29th on Yoan Grillo's Crash Out Media portal. Since then, there's been speculation about the meeting with the former mayor of Culiacan to be held in Huertos de Pedregal, and how his 4 bodyguards were outnumbered by Guzmán López's hitmen. This version, attributed to a former member of Yoma's security team who was behind bars, expanded on the details Perez had given about the client's capture on July 27th, claiming it was a snatching at the hands of Guzmán López, right? We saw another account that was given to us by a supposed Sicario that was there, and we called bullshit. Because it was just a guy in a mask talking about, man, he went in, he was there for a long time, fuimos a buscar las cocas, and I said, well, where's the rest of the story? Where'd you go? What'd you do? They said, oh, we it wasn't until we saw the news reports that we figured, oh, that's real. So y'all bounced already. It was just sounding like a bullshit story. And we've been doing this long enough to see these people put out bullshit stories. Just because they want to keep that name alive in the headlines. Because they ain't got really much choice. If I made up a headline for every time, I needed to go, I'd be live all day, every day. But I don't go live unless something's going down. I try not to. All right? So, boom. Let's see what this... So supposedly one of Mayo's security team, one of Yoma's security team is in prison, and he got his account. I don't know if we've seen that. I don't know if this is the same person we saw in that news story, but we know that news story was bullshit. All right? Shout out Adrian Torres. Salute. It was also a possible alternative to the cryptic robbery theory put forward by Sinaloa's prosecutor's office about the unaliving of Quinn, a deputy elected by the PRI. Grillo's text does not mention Rocha. Yoma's version of events is explosive and problematic for the government because it offers a detailed account of what happened compared to the contradictions and doubts that have surrounded the official account of the arrest. Zambada says how, when, where, and why he was arrested. His account sticks to the strategy seen in U.S. courts, where telling a good story is more important and can be more decisive than proving it. It sows doubts beyond the evidence in the statements Rocha has provided. Rocha's a liar. Yoma's letter did not come out of the blue. A day earlier, the U.S. Embassy in Mexico broke 2 weeks of silence and established the official version of its government on the rug lord's capture. It did so with a 5-point report summarizing that Zambada was taken against his will to the U.S. territory. It also denied an extraterritorial operation by the U.S., denied that the U.S. was involved on Mexican soil, right? Denied. The White House has been contrasting versions. The White House has been extremely careful about the details shared with the Lopez Obrador administration and public opinion, aware that its words could have a major impact on the bilateral relationship and the message sent to the Sinaloa cartel after its leader's capture. One of the readings from the official version, given Washington and Mexico's insistence that the capture took them by surprise, is that the only people who knew how they had ended up in the United States were the rug traffickers involved, Zambada and Guzmán López. That cannot be true. That cannot be true. It cannot be true that only Yoma and Joaquín and the pilot knew what was going on. It cannot be true. Why did the feds meet them on the tarmac? Huh? Why did an airplane get to cross in from Mexico to the United States and not get shot down? Or even put on a watch list or something? One of the readings from the official version, given Washington and Mexico's insistence that the capture took them by surprise, is that the only two people who knew how they had ended up in the United States were the rug traffickers involved. Get the fuck out of here. The table was set for Yoma's latest media coup. As he did after the arrest, Zambada took advantage of the gaps in the narrative that both governments were unwilling and unable to fill. All right? A cascade of revelations followed the publication of the missive. The Sinaloa Attorney General's office confirmed on Saturday that Jose Rosario Eras Lopez, the police chief, who allegedly watched Yoma's back, does work for the Sinaloa Investigative Police and was on vacation from July 14th to July 30th. How convenient. How convenient. Shy, you're not telling me the feds would do something shady like that, right? Shady like what? You're saying, what would they do? All right, salutes, Adrian. Let's see. The dude just happened to be on vacation from the 14th to the 30th. Nothing to see here, all right? Shout out Chicken Knuckle. Your vid sucks. Salutes. They knew it was coming. Absolutely, they knew it was coming. They could not have not known, right? It's the only way. All right, let's get it. But this cop that looks out for Yoma, he was off that week, man. 14th to the 30th, ironically. Why? That shit could have happened at any moment. He had to have his alibi in check, all right? Otherwise, he's going straight to jail.
You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail.
All right. He said, however, that he maintained that the theft of the pickup truck was the main motive for Quinn's unaliving. Why am I going to listen to a cop that watches Yoma's back tell me about what happened to Quinn? Miss me with the bullshit.
Bullshit.
You went too far there.
Too much information and shit.
Too much information. He said, however, I'm going to read that for you again. The Sinaloa Attorney General's office confirmed on Saturday that Jose Rosario Eras Lopez, the police chief who allegedly watched Yoma's back, does work for the Sinaloa Investigative Police and was on vacation from July 14th to the 30th. That guy, he said, however, that he maintained that the theft of the pickup truck was the main motive for Quinn's unaliving. Come on, man. We know that's bullshit. The ministerial authorities released a video on Tuesday showing the moment when a motorcycle approached the pickup truck in which the politician was traveling, according to the testimony of his companion. The men opened the door of the vehicle while it was stopped at a gas station and left, according to images captured by security. That's it. They opened the door, they closed the door, they bounced, the truck took off. We didn't see nothing there. That could have been a video of anybody. The Attorney General's office took over the case and said Sunday that it was already investigating Zambada's claims, as well as the locations and people alluded to. In the same communique, the FGR stated that it had opened an investigation against both drug traffickers for crimes such as treason and whatever comes of it. Two phrases so ambiguous that they brought a smile to Lopez Obrador's face during his daily press conference on Monday. Treason and whatever comes of it. We'll just charge him with whatever. But just put him down for whatever. Give him whatever he got. Put him in the fucking bed. Put him in the fucking bed, you might. Shout out to Liza on the check-in. Glad you're here. Glad to have you. Salutes. Welcome. Happy Taco Tuesday. Come on, man. Two phrases so ambiguous. Treason and whatever comes of it. We'll just charge him with whatever comes of it. What's the sentence hold for whatever comes of it? What's the sentence for that, huh? A sentence read by an illiterate motherfucker. Neither the ministerial authorities nor the federal government have been able to offer precise and different account of what happened to what El Yoma claims. Lopez Obrador did make it clear that he had been upset by versions linking Rocha, one of his party state governors, to the Sinaloa Bartel leader, especially given his rival's insistence that the current administration is a narco government. Listen, man, I feel more and more like it is every day. All right? And I'm already over the edge on it. Okay? I'm over the edge on it. We came to power with the moral high ground. Sure you fucking did. We did not arrive leaving pieces of dignity along the way.
No.
You couldn't stop a culiacanazo from happening. We were not helped by rug traffickers or white-collar criminals, the president stated. We are not corrupt. Most not corrupt people don't have to make the statement. The letter from Yoma revives the controversy over Genaro Garcia Luna, Felipe Calderon's rug czar, and Lopez Obrador's political adversary. Garcia Luna was convicted last year in New York for collaborating with the Sinaloa Bartel over the course of 2 decades, following the testimonies of a dozen Mexican rug traffickers who testified against him. Among them, Jesus Rey Zambada, Yoma's brother. Okay? Another person who testified. Lopez Obrador celebrated the ruling in style and took political advantage of it. The National Action Party, the main opposition force, dug in during the weeks following the verdict. All right, Miss Murado Garcia Luna shit, we know what it is. Ba-ba-ba. The scandal surrounding Zambada has reversed the roles. Morena says the word of a rug trafficker cannot be given credibility and has defended itself against the media blows from the United States while the PAN has gone on the offensive. All right? Now, since then, Yoma has pleaded guilty. Now, listen, we'll never listen. We can't listen when something first happens and people say, oh, we're pleading not guilty. And everybody says, oh, I pleaded not guilty. We know that shit is just a placeholder until it's time to plead guilty and get a deal. You get a deal. You get a deal. You get a deal. Everybody gets a fucking deal. Okay? Everybody gets a deal. Shout out IB on the check-in. Salutes. Everybody gets a deal. So that was Yoma's letter stating what he said happened. He said, official story is that Quen got done up in the gas station. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
This is what happened. They brought me here to quell this beef, and the shit went left. Now, he did not mention seeing Rocha. He didn't mention none of that I recall, right? Then he pled guilty. And when he pled guilty, his lawyer, Frank Perez, made it very clear and made it very concise that, hey, he's not going to talk. He's not going to cooperate. And he's giving them nothing, and he will give them nothing. And the moment he walked up in that courtroom, oh, man, he might as well have put his hand up. Your Honor, remember that Bernie Mac? Bernie Mac said, Your Honor, that motherfucker did it right there. Yeah? He jumped up there and he said, I lived a criminal lifestyle for over 50 years. I paid politicians. I paid police, law enforcement, military. I paid everybody. To me, that's cooperation. To me, he went up there and he implicated all kind of politicians. Maybe not specifically, but he just loosened up the top of the jar real quick. You know what I'm saying? Now, boom. During that time, Joaquin has been pushing back. Joaquin's hearing's been getting pushed back. And it finally happened today. And along with Yoma's letter that stated all the things that happened, Joaquin has added to that. And the story is matching. All right? It doesn't answer for everything, though. It does not answer for everything. All right, we're going to get into that. And then I'm going to get into the paperwork. I'm going to skip the paperwork in this article for now. We're going to go with what happened in the courtroom today. Okay? Here we go. He spilled the beans. Look. Look at Velez. No mama's way.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Got his little hat on and shit. I got something for you in the Discord tonight. You're not gonna get away with that. You think Trump gonna pardon him if someone tells him it was a Biden hoax like he just did the former Honduran president? I mean, he wants Venezuela. And I don't think it was Honduran. Was it the former Venezuelan president or was it the Honduran president? Either way, they are lying when they say they care about getting these rugs off the street when they're pardoning fent pushers. He spilled the beans, man. He let that shit fly. All right? Let's get it. All right. Bar's open. The bar is open. Let's get it. There's some new details. We'll start up here. I don't want to spoil it, but here we go. It was a Honduran president. Either way, man, to me, it's the same as the Contras. It's the same as, he got his dog in the fight, so it don't matter how many people that dude smoked. Don't matter how many bribes he took. Don't matter how much fent he pushed. Don't matter how many American people that are falling to these drugs. What do you give a fuck? You don't care. Who have been convicted last year 500 tons of taking bribes and turning his eyeballs to 500 tons. Let's get it. Several hammermen entered through a window opening of which the glass had already been removed in preparation to ambush El Yoma on July 25th, 2024. El Yoma was then cuffed and his head was covered before being pulled through the opening and loaded into the back of a pickup truck and taken to a private jet on a nearby runway. This is exactly what Yoma said it was. He didn't mention the window. Probably didn't dawn on him. Right? He just knew he was getting his ass whooped and it was time to go. And he was getting taken. Right? But we never heard the part about the glass. We never heard about the part about the window coming out. Okay? Let's get it. These are some of the new details according to the plea hearing of one of the sons of his former Sinaloa Bartel partner, Joaquín El Pocha Guzmán, who abducted him. Joaquín Guzmán López, the 39-year-old son of Pocha, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of rug trafficking and running a continuing criminal enterprise, right? CCE, alongside his father and then brothers in federal court in Chicago. He's also pleaded guilty to a count of international snatching. Okay? You got you a snatching charge, Papa. International snatching charge. Sounds to me like the leverage you thought you were bringing with you landed on your head and crushed your shit. You stepped on your dick, buddy. They charged you with an international kidnapping. So even if they did help you, they didn't give a shit. They're like, yo, man, this is Sparta.
This is Sparta!
What is your name? Judge Johnson asked. Joaquín Guzmán López, he replied. How old are you? 39 years old, replied Eduardo, as he's known within the Chapitos faction of the Sinaloa Bartel. Are you sure? The judge said sarcastically amid a small laugh that created a rather relaxed atmosphere for the rest of the hearing. What you joking about, Judge? Sit your ass down, Judge. What did you do before you came here? That was the question where, after that question, that's the question that Yoma let it all out. He's like, boy, I done bribed everybody. This, that, and the other. What did you do before you came here? Rug trafficking, Pocha's son said, without hesitation. Again, laughter erupted from the prosecutors, the marshals. What the fuck is the joke? What's the joke around here? Is he a charming guy? He charmed you dummies? All right, let's get it. Laughter from the marshals and the judges. Order in the fucking court. What's wrong with y'all? The snatching of El Mayo. Andrew Erskine, a prosecutor representing the U.S. government, said on Monday the snatching of an unnamed individual was part of an attempt to show cooperation with Washington, which he said did not sanction those actions. Representing the U.S. government, a prosecutor said on Monday the snatching of an unnamed individual, so he's not even naming Yoma, I don't know why he pleaded guilty already, was a part of an attempt to show cooperation with Washington, which he said did not sanction those actions. He also said Guzmán López would not receive cooperation credit because of that. Lo cagó el gallo.
Yo vivo tranquila con los pelos en el pecho y la casa.
Cállate, hijueputa.
Sounds to me like the government taking a nice long shit on him. Same way they did the twins. You know what I mean? He snatched Yoma as an attempt to show cooperation with Washington, which he said did not sanction those actions. He also said Guzmán López would not receive cooperation credit because of that.
Sí la cagó, mira, hizo. ¡Ah!
La cagó. They need to put him in the same cell as Saul. They both stepped on their dick. They have a deal worked up already. They just need to have some type of paper trail to say that there was due process. Oh, that's crazy. So I don't even talk about that yet. Salutes, all right? He knows he's getting out in less than 10 years. He's chilling. Who? Joaquin? You think Joaquin gets out in less than 10 years? All right, we need Jay Flores to get on the line and give us his prediction. In the agreement, Guzman explicitly acknowledges that the United States government did not request, induce, sanction, approve, or condone the snatching. This wording seems to be carefully chosen. That's what they do. That's what they've been doing lately, huh? They didn't extradite nobody. They expelled them. They've been playing with these words. You know, they've been playing with the system. Executive orders on that ass. This wording seems to be carefully chosen and does not mention the U.S. having or not having any predisposed knowledge of the deal or snatching ahead of time. So the U.S. is claiming that they did not know that this snatching was going to happen. And let me ask y'all a question before I even get there. Maybe they're going to tell me right here. Did the U.S. government know that Joaquin was coming? Or were they surprised by all of it? Somebody's lying. Right? Did Joaquin already have a deal with the United States? And say, all right, I'll be there on the 25th. I'm going to come through. I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to ba. Right? And then, the day of, he decides, you know what? Insurance policy. Let me go get my padrino real quick. Travelers. Yeah, less than 10 with continued cooperation. Okay. Let's keep going. Erskine described the alleged snatching in court, saying Guzmán López had the glass from a floor to ceiling window removed from a room ahead of the meeting with the unnamed person, mentioned as only individual A. So Yoma is individual A. Hey, they got you. You know what I mean? Individual A, they got you. Hold on a second. Let me pull the screen up here. Wow. So he removed the glass from a room from ceiling to floor. Guzmán López allegedly had others enter through the open window, seize the individual, put a bag over his head, and take him to a plane. That's everything that Yoma said. He told
Zoraida sent $10 latte to the party, cara feliz con ojos sonrientes, pero Happy Tuesday, ki jarra de cerveza, salud.
Yo, that voice is crazy. I gotta go test that. I need to put some of that voice on the soundboard. Shout out Zoraida for the beer. I appreciate you. Shout out Zoraida for the $10 power chat. Late to the party, no worries. Always on time. Pero happy Tuesday, Shai. Salud. I appreciate you. I'm going to bust open a mango real quick, all right? We're going to get the mango popping. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. We hanging out doing hood rat stuff with our friends.
I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friends.
And breaking down all the bullshit in this case, all right? Salute to you, Zorada. I appreciate you. So check it out. Everything here is basically what he said. The old man didn't mention the window, but he ain't the one that ripped the window out. Of course, that's something he would say. But he said he went into a room with him. He got snatched up. He had a bag put over his head, and boom. Shout out Shannon. No, they knew both of them were coming. Ooh, we're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all of that. Okay, you believe they knew both were coming. Bet. Let me go get my cerveza. Boom. All right, shout out to the Mango Mafia. Salute Zoraida. Bow. Boom. Let's get it. Sugar free. Zoraida agrees. The U.S. with the bullshit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Okay? They're saying they did not know about the snatching. Okay, so what did you know? What did you know? That's what I want to know. All right, let's get it. Guzman Lopez allegedly had others enter through the open window, seize the individual, put a bag over his head, and take him to a plane. On board, he was zip tied. Remember, we had pictures. We saw pictures. They're in the Discord. They had a Oso bag. What was that? Oxo bag with, they had snacks and shit. Snacks. They had snacks in there. They had zip ties, big old thick gorilla ass zip ties, right? All right, on board, he was zip tied and given sedatives before the plane landed at a New Mexico airport near the border with Texas. Okay, I was right. It stopped in New Mexico and then drove across the border. Mexico's then president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, who suspected the U.S. government was behind the operation. Mexico's then president, Obrador, who suspected the U.S. government was behind the operation. That's not a sentence. Washington denied involvement from the outset, but experts thought it would be virtually impossible. Experts thought it would be virtually impossible to pull off without U.S. authorities having some knowledge. Pull off what? Okay? See, we're talking about two things here. There was a snatching, and there was also another guy that turned himself in. Okay? You had to know that that guy was coming in. You had to know. How you don't know? You met the plane there. The pilot disappeared, vanished.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
You don't just fly a plane into an airport. Am I wrong? Somebody tell me I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about. You don't just fly a plane over the border and land somewhere. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. Not in good old America.
This is America.
So this is crazy, this thought. Washington denied involvement from the outset, but experts thought it would be virtually impossible to pull off without U.S. authorities having some knowledge. Yeah. Mexico's Attorney General's office said it was studying the possibility of bringing treason charges against Guzman Lopez or whoever else aided in the plot. Treason for what? For snatching, dude? Let me finish this article because we're going to get into that. Did this guy walk into a bigger shit sandwich than he was already in for? Was this all stupidity? Or was this super gangster shit? I've been giving them props for the heist of the century. It's the heist of the century, you ask me. They took the untouchable man. But they're not talking about Guzman Lopez turning himself in. They're talking about the snatching and how it could be treason and how it should have been impossible without the help of the U.S., right? But did he already have a deal did he already tell y'all I'm coming? He had to have. He had to. Here's the question. Did he do this without the support of his other brothers? Did he leave them holding the bag? For all the people that, when we first started talking about this guy, everybody said, man, they say he's the punk brother. He's the one that nobody cares about. He's the little guy, the guy that don't want to be in the game and gay rumors and all kind of shit. Did he make up in his mind, hey, I talked to the United States government, I'm going to turn myself in like my father told me to many years ago. And then decide, but watch this, hold my beer. I'm going to go snatch up the old man, get some leverage. Yeah. And what happened? Took the old man, got zero cooperation credit for him, might get charged with treason for him, and put the brothers in a war that hasn't ended and it's over a year long, and they're running out of disposable soldiers. Did he do it on his own? So many questions. But it sounds like he walked into more of a shit sandwich. Bringing the old man was just a betrayal. It didn't do shit for him. If that's the case. Or are they lying? Talking bullshit. I don't know. But do you see where I'm coming from? Salutes. Let me see. Shout out Dago. Salutes. What's up, everyone? Haven't been on in a minute. Checking in from Dago. Salutes. Keep up the good work. My guy, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. Like the U.S. lets planes land on this side without notification. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
There's an Air Force base in New Mexico. They would have been intercepted if there was no previous knowledge of them coming. Ding dong. Exactly. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. I agree. Don't forget to hit that like button, y'all. Salutes. I agree. All right. Mexico's Attorney General's office said it was studying the possibility of bringing treason charges against Guzmán López or whoever else aided in the plot. Like, bruh, I brought you the big fish, eh? I was looking out for you. You playing me like a sucker right now. You playing me like a sucker. Of course, I believe that too. I think the U.S. knew, and it will do something for him, but they have to deny it at this point at the risk of having to return him to Mexico. Did he do himself or his brother any favors? Well, here's the thing, Ivy. That's quite possible. It's also quite possible the United States gave him everything he needed to pull it off, and they said, deuces, we don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't think they're above that either. You know, but it could be, either way, it could be true. My point is just like, to sit there, they had to know that plane was coming here. They also might have had protection at the New Mexico airport, and that's why they flew there and not straight to Texas. Who had protection? Joaquin and Mayo, or the plane? The plane had protection, like their own protection? Bartell protection? I don't know. I don't think he'd be stupid enough to not know what would happen when it would be known that he snatched a Yoma out of all people. Out of all people, dog. Out of all people. I don't know. But, again, and we still ain't heard no mention of that pilot. As far as I'm concerned, the U.S. had to know. Even if they, let's just say, for instance, they didn't know Yoma was coming. They only thought Joaquin was coming. All right, somebody made that call. If you say that didn't happen, I don't believe you. Let the twins say, hey man, I'm just gonna charter a jet, bro. Jay telling Pete, hey bro, I'm just gonna charter a jet. We're just gonna fly over there, land, and that's it. Turn ourselves in. Done. Just an unmarked plane that nobody know about. Boom. Nah, I don't see it happening. They made calls. They talked to people. You think that the Chapitos don't know who to call and talk to? They know. The fucking red bat phone wings at the White House and shit. Or wherever these authorities are. Hit the like button, y'all. Let's get it. The arrest sets off a bloody fight in Sinaloa among their respective Bartell factions for control of the business, violence that Lopez Obrador's successor Claudia Sheinbaum is dealing with. Still, Yoma Zambada, in his letter released by his lawyer days after he first appeared in the U.S. court, said Guzmán López had called him to a meeting on the outskirts of the Sinaloa state capital, Culiacán. Allegedly, it was to help settle a dispute between the governor of Sinaloa and political leader Hector Cuenojera. He said when he arrived, there were a lot of armed men in green military uniforms, who he assumed were gunmen for the Chapitos, or hammermen for the Chapitos. Melesio Cuenojera, a political rival of Governor Rocha, and former head of a Sinaloa of Sinaloa political parties was shot and brought to the hospital later that night following a failed attempt to cover the true cause of his unaliving with a gas station carjacking. Who is responsible for that? These things happen and then we don't never get to the bottom of them. We found out that the Chapitos had access to a C4 command center, meaning they had access to all of the cameras in the towns in Sinaloa that the government had access to. They had access to them too. Who? Nobody? We don't know how they got the access? Well, that's it, done. No more story about that. We got prosecutors feeding us bullshit, huh? Feeding us lies about how this man's life got took. And then it finally comes out that it's all lies. It comes out in American courtrooms. And that's it. Nobody talk about it. Where are these prosecutors? Huh? Where's Rocha? Why ain't that lady Cytobomb sitting him down and saying, motherfucker, why'd y'all put out this video? What were you hiding putting out this video? No, we don't have those conversations. Ojeda, political rival of Governor Rocha and former head of Sinaloa political parties, was shot and brought to the hospital later that night following a failed attempt to cover the true cause of his unaliving with a gas station carjacking. There's also no mention of the bodyguards, including Sinaloa state police officer that accompanied Yoma and believed to have been unalived that day as well. Okay? Shout out Shannon. Flock cameras. Fuck them flock cameras. That's what they're using. That's what they're using. How these fools got access to them motherfuckers, though? It's crazy. On the plane that left, so there was no mention of the bodyguards or whatever in Yoma's. Now, remember, Jay told us that it was a very trusted old security friend of Yoma that was with him that day. Somebody that shadowed him for many years. On the plane that landed in New Mexico were only the pilot. That's his name, y'all. The pilot. We don't know shit else about dude. We don't know nothing, man. The pilot on the plane that landed in New Mexico, only the pilot, Zambada and Guzmán López. The pilot is not named in the agreement either and was not arrested at the airport when Zambada and Guzmán were taken into custody. There's no motherfucking way that pilot was not an American pilot or a Mexican CIA operative working for the United States. Because there's no fucking way. Even, especially, look, they're not letting the guy get away with giving them the biggest fish they've ever caught. They're not giving him cooperation points for that. You think they're going to let his pilot leave the scene? Huh? What the guy do, man? He climbed, he shimmied out the fucking window, hit the fence on their ass. Gotta go. Huh? What are we talking about here? There's no way. There's no way that's not another arrest. Tell me, somebody, give me, come on. Crazy theories. Let's do it Pebby style. Peb's got like the wildest fucking left field theories. Give me a theory. The pilot. Huh? They were like, hey, man, he got nothing to do with this. He's just the only motherfucker we could find to fly this plane. What are we talking about? How does the pilot not get arrested? You give me a logical explanation on how the pilot doesn't get arrested. At all. He just vanished. He just vanished. Vanished.
Bullshit.
Did he ever exist at all?
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Zoraida, he vanished. You ever see, so I drop off two of the most notorious wanted men on the planet. And I just skate, gone, holla. That's it. Sounds out of this world to me. The pilot is not named in the agreement either and was not arrested at the airport when Zambada and Guzmán were taken into custody. Two down, two to go, said Attorney General Adam Gordon for the Southern District of California in response to the guilty plea. So we just move on from all these questions that we got. Don't worry about the pilot. Mind your fucking business, Shy. No. Shy, don't ask about the pilot, man. Pilot got nothing to do with that. That's like them boats, man. Huh? Motherfuckers are gonna see the gulag over them boats. Huh? Treason. Huh? All kind of shit. War crimes over them boats. We called that shit day one. We can see through the bullshit. Where the pilot at, man? Guzmán López and his three brothers, Ivan and Jesus Alfredo, are his half-brothers, collectively known as the Chapitos, assumed leadership roles of the Sinaloa Bartel following Pocha's arrest in 2016 and subsequent conviction in the Eastern District of New York. U.S. Prosecutor Erskine confirmed that the defendant was cooperating with authorities as a cooperating witness, and that thanks to this, the U.S. prosecution was considering requesting a reduced sentence to avoid a life sentence. In this case, like his brother Ovidio, Joaquin had become a cooperating witness as well. Confirmed that the defendant was cooperating with authorities as a cooperating witness. All right, he snitched. He's talking. The U.S. prosecution was considering requesting a reduced sentence to avoid a life sentence. Did Ovidio get sentenced yet? I don't recall. Covered too much shit. In this case, like his brother Ovidio, Joaquin had become a cooperating witness as well. With the plea deal, Guzmán López defense attorney Jeffrey Lichtman, the deal man, all right, Jeffrey Lichtman, what was the last trial Lichtman saw? Lichtman ain't about no fucking trials. He Howie Mandel, boy. He like a game show host when it comes to the deals. He's like Oprah. You get a deal. You get a deal. You get a deal. Sounds plausible these days. Anything goes. No answer. Just move on. Seems to be the theme with this administration, and then some. With the plea deal, his attorney Jeffrey Lichtman said he is expected to avoid life in prison. His brother Ovidio Guzmán López, who pleaded guilty back in July, is said to have been included as part of the plot to bring Yoma to the U.S. to get a better deal, as he was moved out of BOP custody and into the U.S. Marshal's protective custody just days before the snatching took place. Wait, what? Ovidio, who pleaded guilty back in July, is said to have been included as part of the plot to snatch Mayo. Snatch Yoma to the U.S. to get a better deal, as he was moved out of BOP custody and into the U.S. Marshal's protective custody just days before the snatching took place. So that would mean prior knowledge, no? Am I illiterate? Ovidio, who pleaded guilty in July, is said to have been included as part of the plot to bring Yoma to the U.S. to get a better deal, as he was moved out of Board of Prisons custody and into the U.S. Marshal's protective custody just days before the kidnapping took place. How does that not sound like prior knowledge? Well, that says one brother knew for sure. That's what it says. It said the others know. It says Ivan was supposed to be there. Don't know if he was. Maybe he was. Maybe he was there in a military or a leadership capacity and wasn't seen. So it is possible they knew. But this would say that the United States government knew. No? If this line right here is true, he is said to have been included as part of the plot to snatch Mayo, as he was moved out of BOP custody and into U.S. Marshal's protective custody days before the snatching took place. Did they write it wrong? Am I reading it wrong? So they let Ovidio talk to Joaquin while in custody. What if they revoke any of his agreement? I mean, would it revoke it if everybody knew about everything? I don't know that he got to speak to him. I don't know that he spoke to him. Communication happened however it happened. But right there is saying that they moved dude into protective custody days before the snatching. Because he was supposedly included as part of the plot. That just says right there that they know that this was going to happen days before it happened. Miss me with the bullshit.
Bullshit.
Earlier this year, 17 family members of the two brothers made their way across the U.S. border and were escorted in by U.S. authorities. The same week that those ICE dorks were running around, falling and tripping, chasing older ladies and children, and throwing them out of this country, or throwing them in cells, or taking them and throwing them in seaside. While they're doing that, they're bringing this guy's family in to this country. What the fuck are we doing here, though? We picking and choosing who we letting work and wild out. That is it. That is all. But his cooperation didn't stop Erskine from airing the suspect's dirty laundry. Okay, so Erskine, so wait a minute. Erskine shitting on Video's deal like you said, Velez. Didn't stop Erskine from airing the suspect's dirty laundry. Shipments with tons of rugs, transport networks in Central and South America. Or is he talking about Joaquin? I don't know. Shipments with tons of rugs, transport networks in Central and South America, Mexico, the United States, and Canada. Cross-border tunnels, and of course the high-profile snatching. Guzmán López coordinated the transportation of rugs and precursor chemicals for the manufacture of rugs into Mexico, and the transportation of those rugs, including brocane, Sherwin, Fetty Wap to the United States border at times in shipments of hundreds or thousands of kilos. He used a network of couriers affiliated with the cartel to smuggle the rugs into the United States using vehicles, rail cars, tunnels, aircraft, submersible vessels, and other means, according to his plea. Shit is crazy. Stranger than fiction. All right. Now let's see. Is this the same paperwork I got? Let me see. Hold on, I'm just looking at this paperwork. Let's go through this paperwork. All right, plea agreement. Boom, hands up, salutes. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. This plea agreement between the United States Attorney, Illinois, hold on. The criminal division, money laundering, his attorney, Jeffrey Lichtman, nothing here. They've agreed upon the following. Defendant, for purposes of computing his sentence, under guideline whatever, stipulates to having committed the following additional offense. On or about July 25th, 2024, in the state of Sinaloa, Mexico, the District of New Mexico, and elsewhere, defendant Joaquin Guzmán López did unlawfully seize, confine, snatch, abduct, and carry away, and hold for reward and otherwise individual A, and willfully transported individual A in foreign commerce in violation of Title 18 U.S. State Code. Guzman coordinated and committed the snatching of individual A, among other reasons, in the hopes of receiving cooperation credit from the United States government for himself and his brother. However, Guzman Lopez acknowledges that the United States government did not request, induce, sanction, or approve or condone the snatching. Guzman Lopez further acknowledges that, as discussed below, he will not receive cooperation credit for the snatching, nor will his brother. Sounds to me like that is a clandestine, secret operation that we won't see uncovered for the next 30, 40 years. Hashtag, where's the pilot? More specifically, prior to July 25th, 2024, Guzman Lopez arranged for a meeting in Sinaloa, Mexico involving individual A and others. Just others. That's it. That's all we get. Why? Because we're not getting a trial, so we just get others. That's it. For the purpose of luring individual A to the meeting, Guzman Lopez communicated to individual A that individual A's presence was needed to resolve. I'm just going to start saying Yoma. Too many syllables in fucking individual A. That Yoma's presence was needed to resolve a disagreement between Guzman Lopez and others. On July 25th, 2024, Guzman Lopez was present at the meeting location when individual A arrived. Guzman Lopez asked Yoma to come speak with him in a private room in the building, in which, unbeknownst to Yoma, Guzman Lopez had removed the glass from floor to ceiling window. Once both men were in the room alone, Guzman Lopez closed and locked the door. At that time, as coordinated by Guzman Lopez, multiple men working for Guzman Lopez entered the room through the window and placed handcuffs on Yoma and a bag over his head. It's exactly what he said. The men, who were armed with firearms, then carried in Yoma outside through the window, placed him across their laps in the back seat of a waiting pickup truck. That differs. Yoma said in the bed of a truck. Yoma probably didn't fucking know where he was at. Had a bag over his head, no? Guzman Lopez also entered the truck, and it drove 10 to 15 minutes to an airstrip where a small plane awaited. The men loaded individual A onto the plane, which Guzman Lopez and a pilot boarded as well. Yoma was zip-tied to one of the seats, and the pilot, just the pilot. The pilot boarded as well. Yoma was zip-tied to one of the seats. After the plane took off, Guzman Lopez prepared a drink with sedatives, some of which he drank himself, and some of which he gave to Yoma. Jeffrey Lichtman represents, now remember, he represents everybody, including the twins. They signed the waiver to keep him on the case, even though he was lawyer to Pocha at the time, and vice versa. Jeffrey Lichtman represents Joaquín Guzmán Loera, Ovidio Guzmán López, Iván Guzmán Salazar, Jesus Alfredo Guzmán Salazar, José Ángel Canovio Nzunza, Noel Lopez, the other clients. Lichtman has a duty of loyalty to the other clients and cannot use any information he obtained from the other clients while representing defendants in this matter. That's the whole point of conflict of interest, to not have to worry about that. But now they're saying he can't use this information, he can't use that information.
Too much information and shit.
All right, let me go. I got some other paperwork over here. All right, we did that one. We did this one. Okay, hold on. This is finishing this here, so let me do this quickly. Hold on a sec. Let's get it. So boom, this is one where at the bottom he said, prepared a drink with sedatives, some of which he drank himself, some of which he gave to Yoma. As Guzman Lopez had previously directed, the pilot flew the plane from Mexico into the United States, and the plane landed in New Mexico. Guzmán López coordinated and committed the snatching of Yoma, among other reasons, in the hopes of receiving cooperation from the United States government for himself and his brother. However, Guzmán López acknowledges that the U.S. did not request, we did all that. And he will not receive credit for the snatching, nor will his brother. Okay, the rest of that ain't nothing. Here we go. Cooperation. Defendant agrees he will fully and truthfully cooperate in any matter in which he is called upon to cooperate by a representative of the United States Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Illinois, the United States Attorney's Office of the Southern District of Cali, the Department of Justice, the Laundering, Narcos Forfeiture Sections. This cooperation shall include providing complete and truthful information.
Too much information and shit.
In any investigation and pretrial preparation.
Jonathan Pantuia sent $2 salutes Chi Il my dude, Il Cartel members, and chat. I hope you are having a blessed and grateful bullshit Tuesday. Like and subscribe to the great quality content, it's free. 100 emoji, hashtag what happened to Q and hashtag where's Roca.
What happened to fucking Quinn, man? Shout out JP for the $2 power chat. Salute Chi Il my dude, Il Cartel members, and chat. I hope you are having a blessed and grateful bullshit Tuesday.
Bullshit.
Like and subscribe to the great quality content. It's free. Don't cost you a damn thing. Hashtag what happened to Quinn. Hashtag where's Rocha.
Oye, y el Rocha. Y el Rocha. Bueno, y el Rocha.
JP, they a bunch of rotten lying sons of a bitches, boy. All right. Salutes to JP for the $2 power chat. Appreciate you. Glad to have you. He was in his ghillie suit. Hopped out of his ghillie suit, started throwing kicks and shit. All right. He represents all of the Sinaloa cartel. Indeed. Indeed, Jeffrey Lichtman. That's the real boss, you ask me. Huh? Not the boss. Shout out 323G out there getting that money.
Millions.
Salutes. We got APBs out. Who we got APBs out? Macho McFly. We got APBs out. So there it is, man. Now. I need them to be clear on what they know and what they didn't know. Did they or did they not know that Joaquín Guzmán López, in the least, was going to turn himself in? By himself. He was still going to have a pilot fly him over, right? To me, the pilot is the linchpin. Some people might say, oh, pilot's not a big deal. What do you care about the pilot? Was the pilot questioned? Was the pilot... Whose payroll was the pilot on? He just worked for a charter company? Huh? That's what happened? I wondered if this was just the bright idea of somebody that thought they were doing something smart. Because it sure sounds real dumb. It sure sounds like extra charges that could become treason. It looks like we knew it would become a war. It became a war. Was this a bright idea hatched by all of them? Or did the brother that was left behind by a video say, man, I got to cut bait right now. I got to get out of here. And I got to guarantee me something. I'm going to pull off the move of the century. And then lo cagó.
Yo vivo tranquila con los pelos en el pecho.
Cállate, hijueputa.
Or is the United States government giving him everything he's going to want because he did bring them the big fish? And they're going to make sure he don't get this treason charge. And they just, like Ivy said, telling the world, hey, nothing to see here. All right, everybody's going to jail.
You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail.
Pilot was a ghost. I'd 100% expect the pilot that brought two fugitives to American soil to be arrested, questioned, all of that. We saw video. We saw two people in cuffs. Joaquín and Yoma. That's it. We saw them waiting for that airplane on the tarmac. We saw that airplane. It wasn't like we caught the video and the plane had been sitting there. We saw the plane go and fucking park. We saw that shit. And we saw the police run up on it. And we saw them drag their ass down the tarmac. I don't get it. I don't understand it. There's no way that a pilot just disappears unless he is. Here's how I see it. Joaquin had to let the United States government know I'm coming in. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be on this. He didn't have to tell them about Yoma. That could be his bright idea that landed in his lap. I'll show my brothers. Fredo from The Godfather. I'm smart, not dumb, like they say. I'm smart. Did he pull a Fredo move and shit the bed? Or did he make the perfect move and got a deal? According to the United States government, they know nothing, we know nothing, we speak nothing, they don't speak it in English.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. It is safe to say another one of the narco juniors is now officially a snitch. Seems to be an ongoing theme that motherfuckers do not want to cop to. They want to wear these guys' shirts and walk around the street. Yeah, I like this. This is my guy. He's a jerk off. He's selling you a dream. He's telling you, low man on the totem pole, to keep your mouth shut. Meanwhile, he's making deals. Let's make a deal. How I see it, he had to let the government know I'm coming in. Then he had his bright idea of bringing the old man. Then the government could say, all right, we didn't know about that. We knew he was coming. But if they tell me they didn't know he was coming, they didn't know the old man was coming, neither one of them, you're lying. Who's the pilot? Oh, we interviewed the pilot. The pilot just turned out to be a pilot that worked for the charter company. Bullshit.
Bullshit. Mm-hmm.
I don't see these chaperos. These guys got their own planes. They take them. People owe money. They lose planes and shit. You know what I mean? And JP got a point. Nothing. No words about these other bodyguards. No words about the pilot. No words about Melesio Quinn. No justice for that dude. Where in this part of the story did he get smoked? Was it before he went in the room with Yoma? Did he go in the room with Yoma and Joaquin? What was the purpose of that? So I'm not going to buy that he had an airplane. No, that wasn't his airplane, and I'm sure it was probably his pilot. Because if it wasn't his pilot, it was a U.S. pilot or a Mexican CIA operative. You got to understand, when it comes to CIA, the line between, law enforcement and CIA, that's not law enforcement. CIA is not law enforcement. All right? There's criminal members of the CIA as well as law enforcement members of the CIA. CIA pushes wars and agendas all over the place since the beginning. To me, you could feed me the story that, oh, they didn't know I was going to bring Yoma. Okay. But you can't tell me they didn't know you weren't coming. Because like Velez said, they would have intercepted that shit. Explain it to us. If there's something innocent about the whole pilot situation, explain it to us. Oh, national security. Yeah, I don't think so. Sounds like bullshit.
Bullshit.
We're not getting no trials. We're not going to hear the information. That's it. We're just going to have to wait until they get released and start doing podcasts and shit. As well as that too, as well as corporate America professionals who act as agents. I'm sure there's more than one pilot who has been tapped. Yeah, don't get it fucked up, people. You don't have to be no fucking Mission Impossible Tom Cruise agent. Just be the accountant that we need when we need him. Huh? Just be the board, the head of the board of directors when we need you to be. Be the doctor when we need you to be. Be the, you know. But again, what new information we got from this? First of all, I don't see it as new information. What we got from this was corroboration, was confirmation that Yoma's story was the story. Not what you fucking idiots who called me an idiot so many times and said, he just has a heart. He wants to go see his grandchildren. He turned himself in. Shut up, stupid. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. And y'all didn't come with an apology, so I ain't got a problem calling y'all stupid. Again, we're okay with opinions over here. We just not good with attitudes and shit. It depends how you bring your opinion over here. But the biggest takeaway is we didn't know about the glass. We didn't know about him taking out the glass. And I don't know how much more of this story we're going to get. Do the brothers testify against the brothers? Yeah. Like when Malcolm X was unalived, years later, coming to find out there was an agent in the front row. Yeah. When Bobby Kennedy, there was one notorious Cuban CIA guy that was everywhere when these things went down. When Bobby Kennedy happened, when JFK happened, everybody just happens to be around. But yeah, CIA operatives. They're all bullshitting ass liars as far as JP's concerned. I appreciate y'all for hanging out, hitting that like button. Salutes to y'all. Hunters up in the chat. This was a very I made this decision last night to go live today when this Discord happened. I'm gonna try to release the edited version of this tomorrow. But you can't tell me you didn't know either one of them were gonna show up. Y'all were sitting there waiting. Oh, we weren't waiting in Mexico. We were waiting in Texas. You was waiting. Where's the pilot? That's it. Where's the pilot? Show me the guy. Remember, we see a lot of bullshit in the days after because people start feeding fake information through the internet. Again, not CIA operatives, but CIA's monkey trolls that sit around and spread this misinformation.
Too much information and shit.
We're going to put up a poll. Do Ovidio and Joaquin snitch or testify big ass chunk of ice just fell off the roof. Against their other brothers, against Ivan, and Alfredo. Yes or no? Get your votes in. Do a video on Joaquin snitch or testify against Ivan and Alfredo. Mm-hmm. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting waiting for what? For the medal? Get your votes in, y'all. Damn, somebody already believes que no. I don't think they got a choice. If the feds ask them for it, they got to do it. Ain't that what Jay say all the time? He say, hey, man, people think that you got a choice. You got no fucking choice. We'll see. All right, get your votes in. Will the set of brothers that are in prison right now snitch or testify against the brothers that are still loose? I should have upped that. Do the brothers that are free now help authorities catch their brothers? What a crazy story. Crazy story. I just know for a fact that it's a 1% chance that the government didn't know this shit. And that 1% is laughable. I laugh at this.
No.
Also, let me know in the chat how many years you think Joaquin's gonna get. Velez already said he thinks 10. Let me see. When is Ovidio's sentencing? January. What? No, that ain't right. How is that even possible? It says he pleaded guilty in July 2025 and expected to cooperate with the U.S. by providing information in exchange for a potential reduction in sentence. His next hearing was set for January 7th, 2025. That got to be wrong. That's AI. That's Google AI. It got to mean 2026. Look. This should say January. What the fuck? His next hearing was scheduled for January 7, 2025. It has to be 2020. It has to be 2026. Oh, yes, because Yoma sitting waiting for that medal. Yes, because Yoma was the medal for the U.S. without having to do anything, allegedly. All they had to do was have a good pilot that could jump a big fence.
No.
And get out of there. No, you're not going to question me, motherfuckers. I'm gone. Shout out for less. He get less than 10. Coño, man. The only thing I came back to on that note is that it could be the office who wrote the press release didn't actually know the operation from the beginning. That will give them plausible deniability, or they just lied, which is entirely possible if not probable. Damn, Zorada said no more than 10 either. That would give them plausible deniability, or they just lied, which is entirely possible. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about no office and the press release. I'll come back to on that. There's no pilot. Where's the pilot? We need the pilot. They don't talk to me about the pilot. I don't want to hear shit. He's the odd man out. If there was nobody else on that shit, cool. Let's talk about him. Where's he at? They ain't gonna say it. They ain't gonna say. Oh, he worked for a charter company. They ain't gonna say oh, he worked for Mexican intelligence or he worked for the U.S. or no, they ain't gonna say that, of course. But just they're not saying nothing lets us know what the fuck it is. But yeah, they have that plausible deniability because, like you said, with the press releases and with what they're saying in all of these press conferences is that we don't know nothing, we didn't see nothing, nothing happened. I don't know what happened. I can't see nothing, I don't know nothing. Don't tell me nothing. That's what they are. They don't give a fuck. They lied. That's it. So that's convinced. They lied. And they're going to lie. They're going to keep lying. They're going to keep lying. Yeah, this has to be 2025. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it has to be January 7th, 2020. So I'll be in. So, all right. So how many years you guys think that Ovidio's gonna get the same shit? Same crimes, right? Remember, they're not on trial here for culiacanazos. They're not on trial here for boiling nobody or tying them to a tree. They're not on no. They're on trial here for RICO or criminal enterprise shit. That's it. Rugs, routes. I feel like we should be able to do a little research and figure out if the plane was on flight tracker apps, and we could probably at least figure out what the tail number was and who owns it. We got pictures of the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? We got pictures, and people came with this owner, that owner, and shit was just not adding up. We can look at it. Let's see. They had a clone tail number that came back to some businessman out here. It's fucking crazy, boy. Didn't they show us a picture of the motherfucker and everything? We were like, man, what the fuck this guy got to do with it? I don't remember. I feel like we saw somebody, fucking dude, standing on the fucking plane and shit. And we saw other planes with the same design and people saying there was that one in videos, and we saw all kind of shit. But let's see. Picture the plane. Who's the fucking pilot, bro? Looking for one that got the numbers. Avalanches going on outside of shit. See, look, we got shit right here. Look, right here we got. This is the OXO bag that had the zip ties that we saw on the plane. That's another thing. That's another thing. Okay, that's another thing. Let me ask y'all something, man. There's 3 people on the plane, right? Who's taking the pictures? Huh? The old man get a sedative. Joaquin Jr. needs a sedative, right? And then there's a pilot. You think it's a pilot's business to fly the fucking plane? Or take pictures of the bags of fucking Doritos and the Gatorade? Huh? Who's taking pictures? We got to do a poll on who took these fucking pictures. Joaquin took these pictures. Why? Zoraida, saludos. Thank you for the cerveza. Ha cumplido mi condena. Why? Who took these pictures, man? Why ain't the pictures in the testimony? Why he ain't put that in the timeline? Oh, the pictures were taken by the feds? Okay, that makes sense. Now I sound high for real. That makes sense. Perfect sense. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. You foiled my... Not that that's actually what happened. The problem of being super rich ended up getting connected to some random ass stuff through some business venture you forgot about. That makes sense. Oh, like you mean like the old man that that actually owned the plane, and then somehow his shit ends up in the biggest fucking heist? Am I wrong, bro? This is a world record heist. This is a world record heist. This ain't some sucker shit. This is the loud, rowdy children of the former most violent boss, right? And in the meantime, his son that wants basically out pulls off the heist of the century. Who would have ever thought it was that easy? I was almost out
Old
of
Soul
there.
sent $25 salutes CHIL salutes chat. Saluting face emoji. 100 emoji. Have one of each fuck IT.
Fuck IT. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Why does it say it like that? Shout out my brother Old Soul for the $25 power chat. Salute Sha'il, salute chat. Have one of each. Fuck it. Fuck it. Shout out Pete Never, man. It's been a long time. Salutes to you. Welcome. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here, sir. We
Are y'all ready, party? Let's go! Get your hands up! 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 Get your hands up!
So like I said, I had forgotten they had lunch for the trip. Look, they got Jumex. I think there's a orange juice right here. Oh, but look, little duct tape. Don't worry about that though. Huh? Why you bring all those snacks for? So many snacks. To go from where to where? How long was their flight? All right, welcome back, Pete Never. Good to see you. Shout out Ivy, exactly. All right, boom. Yeah, y'all caught me in a nice little high moment. Ivy said, I was thinking that too. Yeah, maybe the feds took those pictures, motherfucker. I don't know. I think dude pulled off the heist of the century. Who pulled off something gangster like that? This was better than the Louvre. No? The museum, the art museum that they just hit, this is better than that. He snatched the untouchable man. Could anybody else have done it? Nobody attempted it because they thought it was impossible. Even the U.S. government believes it's impossible. Supposedly. Without their help. Right. Okay. Miss me with the bullshit. All right, let's get a news story on today's developments while I grab this beer. And I got to drink a warm shot because I forgot to put it back in the freezer. And I don't want to open the other one. So, gasolina around this motherfucker, man. We just
But I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
The jewels are still missing, just saying. What jewels? You lost me. Tell me. The jewels are still missing.
Judy, drug lord Joaquín Guzmán López admitting today to drug trafficking conspiracy and engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise, namely running the notorious and ruthless Sinaloa cartel, stipulating to an extraordinary kidnapping plot and promising to cooperate with the government for a lighter sentence. Guzman Lopez standing in court, shackled at the ankles, surrounded by federal marshals, admitting to masterminding the importation and distribution of massive amounts of illegal drugs and operating the Sinaloa cartel along with his brother and others. When asked by the judge what his job was for the past 5 years, he replied, drug trafficker, to chuckles from the courtroom and the judge herself, surprised at his candor. The sentencing guidelines for the crimes advise life in prison, but with Guzman Lopez's guilty plea and cooperation.
My expectation is that the government will make a motion for a reduction of the sentencing guidelines.
His attorney, Jeffrey Lichtman, believes the sentence will be lower than life. The government agreed in court and said Guzman Lopez could spend as little as 10 years in federal prison, but sentencing is up to the judge.
She takes all the recommendations, she listens, and she makes up her own decision, because that's why she's the judge, why none of us are the judges, because she's not partisan.
I think we got to send a bigger message, and I would hope we'd be able to do that.
The retired head of the Chicago DEA, Jack Riley, saying
Riley's not happy. Riley is not happy. Shout out Pete Never for renewing his membership. Appreciate you, sir. Salutes to you. Welcome back. Good to see you. Shout out Ivy, the Louvre Jewels. The French Crown Jewels. So they're still out there, huh? Let me ask you something. What do you think is harder? What do you personally think is harder? To I haven't even seen how they did the whole thing at the Louvre. I want to check that out. I haven't had time. Because you know me, once I see it, I want to get into the shit. But what do you think's harder? Snatching up the untouchable man? Took more lives, I guess. Or stealing them jewels. And them jewels are still out there. Did they catch the people? And the jewels are still on the loose? That's a no-win right there. Somebody gonna talk. Shout out Pete Never. Appreciate you, sir. Jack Riley's not happy. Salty. So come on, man. We keep getting these guys and making deals with these guys. Your whole career, and they almost all out of jail, bro. And you mad.
Possible 10 years in prison for Guzman Lopez isn't enough.
In any criminal organization that's operating in foreign countries, communication is crucial. How do they communicate with their surrogates in Chicago and around the U.S.? And the minute that he was arrested, those systems went dark and were regenerated with information that we don't know about. And I'm not saying he's not going to give us something if he fully cooperates, but it's going to be historical.
Also detailed in the plea agreement, the audacious kidnapping of, quote, individual A, reportedly Ismael El Mayo Zambada. Guzman Lopez stipulating to luring him to a meeting, removing a floor-to-ceiling window before armed men working for Guzman Lopez entered through the window and abducted the man, placing handcuffs on him and a bag over his head before driving him to an airstrip to a small plane. The government on the record saying that abduction was not at their request, and Guzman Lopez agreed he would get no credit for cooperation for it. Now, Guzman Lopez, when questioned by the judge, also said he's taking medication for a thyroid issue, high blood pressure, and anxiety. His next status hearing is June 1st of next year.
There have been a lot of chapters.
Credit for cooperation for it. Now, Guzman Lopez, when questioned by the judge, also said he's taking medication for a thyroid issue, high blood pressure, and anxiety. His next
He's taking anxiety medication, blood pressure medication, and what?
Status hearing. Now, Guzman Lopez, when questioned by the judge, also said he's taking medication for a thyroid issue, high blood pressure, and...
Okay. Shit's crazy. All right. Let's see. IB said, honestly, I'd say they're on similar levels of difficulty and ballsiness, but completely different levels as far as the resources people available to make stuff happen. Velez says snatching Yoma is harder. They made it look too easy to get into the Louvre. The Louvre thieves all got caught, but the jewels are still missing and none of them are talking. Let's see how long they hold out. Let's see if they can teach the rest of the criminal world the lesson. Shut the fuck up. Crazy. So he's in there sick too. He sound like he's in worse shape than motherfucking It's funny. I used to listen to, little cousins and shit that thought they knew something and didn't know shit. And I remember them laughing at the Sopranos and saying, fucking Sopranos, supposed to be a gangster. This guy's in therapy and stressed out and crying all the time. I was like, bruh, if you only knew. They're all under the same anxiety that they putting on other people. They just ain't showing it to each other. Shout out Pete Never. Yoma did it to himself. What you mean, though? He did what to himself? Got played by his nephew? Treated himself? Hey, quite possible. I guess technically Mayo is more than the $100 million or so that the Jews are worth. Oh, yeah, and then some. So technically this would be a bigger heist, although there's a government body on the side of the perpetrator. That's what we believe. You're right. Those other guys was on their own. They was against. They didn't have no help. And if you ask the U.S. government, we weren't there. We didn't do nothing. We just put them in jail.
You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail.
Shout out Pete Never. You believe the Chapitos got permission from the higher ups to get Mayo the fuck out of there? But who are the higher ups? Or in government or in the Bartels? Who was their hire to go to? That move came from beneath. It's crazy. I'm telling you, man, that shit is a crazy heist right there, man. Crazy fucking heist. We have to go mango. Once you go mango, you gotta keep going. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he was talking about Yoma or the Louvre. Salute to y'all. That was I feel like that was a good live. I talked my ass off. But we got our questions out. Maybe there's some that I didn't ask. Maybe, bouncing off of each other. That shit will pop up for next time. But we'll see who he cooperates on. Let's see what this poll is looking like. 78% believe yes, that Ovidio and Joaquin will snitch or testify against Ivan and Alfredo. 22% believe no. Oh, he's talking about the Louvre? Okay, that I don't know. I could definitely see that. Damn. It's an inside job? It's always an inside job. Let's see how long these guys stay quiet. You know what I mean? We'll see. See if there's anything else I can find here. So that was what I thought. Yes, good live as always. I appreciate you. Wow. Now remember, it's just that line is bothering me now. That line that they said in there when they said Ovidio was included. So he was on protective custody days before it happened. Who said that? Because if y'all said that, you just gave away that you knew. Now, I remember in those days us saying what happened to Ovidio. Somebody came and told us, hey, Ovidio's not in the BOP site no more or whatever. And people were like, oh, you think he went home? And I was like, hell no. He's in the same situation Barbie's in, where they disappear off the list. I remember that at that time. But they said in that article that he was included, so he was secluded for his protection, supposedly, days before the snatching went down. That means you knew. Not only that Joaquin was coming to the United States, but that he was bringing Yoma too. Why? Because you didn't move him because his brother was coming to the U.S. You moved him because he was included in the plot. Somebody, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that that's not how that's written. All right. Boom. Get your votes in. I'm about to end this poll. Hit that like button if you have yet to do so. Let me get in the Discord real quick and see what I can find in this. And there's so many people that are now out there saying, and not because of me, but we was on that shit day one about this guy pardoning this person and that person and that person, and there's a firestorm and motherfuckers is gonna be in trouble eventually. Keep blowing up fucking boats. Lo cagaste.
Yo vivo tranquila con los pelos.
Shout out Ivy. I think it's pretty obvious that whatever our current Justice Department says, we can accept the opposite to be true. Absolute. Absolute. Opposite to be true and just make up some fucking crazy pebbles theory and that could be true too. Shit is sideways right now. Now I heard that somebody got unalived today, and they're believed to be family of Rafael Caro Quintero. But I don't know much about the story. I don't know how many people care. Accusations are admissions. Accusations are admissions. I'm sure not saying everything. You're Pete, never say never, bro. Salutes. Wow. Shout out Just for Kicks. He said no co-op credit. Sounds illogical to me. Yeah. That pilot, man. Pilot's the key. Pilot is the key. Pilot is the key. Let's see what else we got in here. Mr. Sequestro. Here, let's do this. This is about them boats. JP, I don't know if you've seen this. Zorada posted it. 8 to 9 years, that's what you think they get?
I like making my podcast. I don't like making short clips of my podcast.
Me too.
So the
Washington Post broke the news reporting Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave a spoken directive, according to two people with direct knowledge of the operation. The order was to kill everybody, one of them said.
Everybody to the upper room. Everybody can get it, as far as they're concerned. All right, hit the like button if you have yet to do so. All right, Hegseth, aka the Lord of War, the Secretary of War, the jerk off of war. Shut up. Heg shit orders on first Caribbean boat strike. Official says unalive them all. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave a spoken directive according to two people with direct knowledge of the operation. The order was to unalive everybody, one of them said. Okay. This right here, motherfuckers are going to get away with this. This is crazy talk. Right? This is crazy talk. That's what I said. Not more than 10. I can see it being many more years, if not life, under this current administration, even if there were deals made. Nah, they're too much into their deals. They're too much into their deals. so many guys with so many bodies, IB, didn't get life. If it behooves them to not give him life and have him at their disposal as long as he's worth the information, current administration aside, I don't know about life. Now, he could get life over that international snatching shit. But they're going to benefit from that. They have to kind of pay him under the table for bringing that man here, if that makes sense. Like you said, we know and feel that, hey, they probably have to just say, hey, we don't know nothing about it, but they made the deal in the background and whatever. But we'll see. I don't know that he gets life, though. He's just, you know. But that international snatching, that's a different game. But they got to throw him some leeway, some bait on that. I'll tell you what, Lickman don't look worried. Hegshe un mama huevazo, throwing the Admiral under the bus on this. Oh, he blaming it on somebody else? Yo, fuck. Probably because of how they've been designated tourist organizations. But here's the problem. They're picking and choosing which ones are tourists and which ones they could pardon at this point. Again, point being the Honduras guy. Nothing would surprise me. Yeah, nah, these motherfuckers, the playbook is out the window. Unalive them all. In the mall. See? I'm going to play some Speed Not Mobsters in here.
2 people with direct knowledge of the operation. That means they are inside the Defense Department watching Pete Hegseth. They are like the helicopter pilot flying over the My Lai massacre and knowing that he had to do something, knowing that what he saw happening on the ground was a crime, knowing what he was watching on the ground was the worst war crime ever committed by the American military. And so,
bro, he just went and started blowing up boats, bro. Miss me with the investigations. Miss me with they found this. They knew that. They had intel. Fuck you.
Oh, too much information.
They just started blowing up boats. That's it. There's a boat out there? Get that motherfucker, man. It's coming to the U.S. How the fuck you know? You blew up the log. Huh? You dirty, filthy demons. They gave you the power. They gave a shithead the power and he just pushing buttons and shit. Papa, they able to serve Maduro on a silver platter. All the Guzmans get pardoned for anything they've done. Listen, man, if they say, hey, man, we go get that motherfucker the same way we got the old man, everybody gets a deal. You get a deal. You get a deal. You get a deal. They turn themselves in before the law gets them. We should never be breaking deals with tourist organizations, but we are. We say we don't, but we're making deals all over the place. Come on, man. But like I keep saying, this current administration, you know, put it on a T-shirt. This current administration, you know, who knows? Who knows? I need my regulation shot glass. Where's it at? Boom. All right. Regulation. Illinois State Athletic Commission. Olympic standard shot glass. All right. Yeah, no, we don't make deals. Bullshit.
Bullshit. Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. These people are crazy. Hey, this guy don't like that guy. Let's get that guy out of here and get this guy back on the street. But sir, he served drugs to our community in the United States. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's done some things in his life, but everybody deserves a second chance. Unless I decide otherwise. It's huge.
he landed that helicopter. The people who are witnessing the order to kill everybody see only one way for them to try to stop such orders, And so they spoke to the kinds of reporters who have been banned from the Defense Department under Donald Trump. Reporters who are not allowed into the Defense Department.
Shout out Ivy Velez. Do you think there's actual connection there that would even make that possible for them to make it happen? Listen, just a fucking throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. I mean, you know, Mexican cartel members go to Ukraine to learn how to fight with drones, right? CIA interconnects everybody when they want to. You know? Hey, we got a couple bad motherfuckers off the radar that can go handle this business. They'll be in and out like a thief in the night. Never know. Imagination, but not without precedent. You know what I mean?
Press briefing room.
It sounds outrageous, right? But we live in an outrageous current administration of the universe.
Pete Hegseth. The Washington Post reporting on this story proves once again that access to the press briefing room is access to the least useful reporting that can be done in Washington, in the Defense Department, or in the White House, or anywhere else that has a press briefing room.
He is wilding the fuck out. Did you hear what he just said? He said the press briefing room in the White House is the most worthless media outlet there is. He is going there, okay? He's going all the way there. Maybe he's selling them oil under the table. Cartel de los Soles, there's that very minute chance that that's how they can. I don't know what that is. And I don't know who's selling oil to who. I'm lost at this point.
Post reporting on this story proves
the oil over there, Venezuela and shit. Shout out Oso, warm ass shot. Salutes. Mexico has a hell of oil. Don't think that would be the way. I'm telling you, man. That snatching fuel shit, that's gonna get bigger. It's huge right now. It's gonna get bigger. Buddy right here is going crazy.
Once again, that access to the press briefing room is access to the least useful reporting that can be done in Washington, in the Defense Department, or in the White House, or anywhere else that has a press briefing room. Alex Horton and Ellen Nakashima of the Washington Post got this story without setting foot inside the Pentagon, because they are banned from setting foot inside the Pentagon. There is no war in Venezuela. There will never be a war in Venezuela. Donald Trump foolishly decided to publicly play with the idea of war in Venezuela.
And that's what he does. He publicly plays with the idea. They say I'm a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I don't want a dictator. Some of them want a dictator, though. That's him playing with the idea. That's what he does. He pushes the line, see how far he can get. You know what? It's the Gulf of fucking America. I'm just going to change it. You know what? The North Pole is now the South Pole, right? Your ass is now your nose. You know what I'm saying? Your eyes are now your toes because I said so. Let's see what I can get you to believe. Oh, you don't want that? Yeah, that was his stupid idea. What? No. That's the world we living in. This the motherfucker got his finger on the button. Not that Sleepy Joe was any better. His sleepy ass finger on the button and shit. Come on, man. Trump foolishly decided to publicly play with the idea. That's what he does. He sees how much he could convince his rednecks, racists, self-hating, people of color, and he tries to see how far he could get them to back his play. And if that means he wants to quarter, you know, a baby in the streets with 4 horses in D.C., he play with the idea. And if y'all are down with it, he gonna do that shit. Hegseth and Miller are out there playing with ideas in his name and pushing buttons. They button men on the highest level, committing war crimes, blowing up men who we don't know who they are, blowing these boats up. Boats that could be going to Trinidad and Tobago. Boats that could be going anywhere. Boats that could have whatever. What do you think? Rugs are the only thing that gets smuggled over water? They could have bootleg Birkin bags, sneakers, whatever the fuck, meat, vegetables, food, real shit. Who knows what he's blowing up? They gave a shithead who, if I look at him, he just looked like a street dude. A street dude that calls the police and uses his motherfucking privilege. And a racist. But to just say, smoke them all, hit the button, don't worry, my boy Trompito got me. Wow shit, boy. Wow.
This is America.
This is America.
Venezuela to distract from the Epstein files, a distraction that has failed miserably. And while Donald Trump remains weak in the face of Vladimir Putin's murderous aggression and war-making in Ukraine, he seems to believe that he somehow looks tough by firing the most expensive weapons ever used to destroy the smallest boats ever destroyed by weapons of war. Small boats without...
Buddy is on the ass right now.
Somehow looks tough by firing the most expensive weapons ever used to destroy the smallest boats ever destroyed by weapons of war. Small boats with outboard motors in the Caribbean, a place.
But they got so many millions worth of periquito ping ping, and there's 11 guys on the boat too. Come on, man. Listen, Jay Flores, better stay the fuck away from over here, because when you get on here, I'm questioning you about that shit. I told him day one, hey man, miss me with the fucking boats. He said they do fucking investigation, but miss me with the investigation bullshit, bro.
Bullshit.
Miss me with that shit. They're blowing up motorboats. Right? Se jodieron, the fishermen are fucked. Se jodieron, they're done. I think that's why Trump wants to get Maduro, amongst other things. Alleges he's the leader of Cartel de los Soles. Oh, okay. I thought it was Tren. But that's why they say, that's what they say, but everyone else is saying it's just about the oil, just like I read. They are saying about the oil, Velez. I have seen that. I've seen Venezuelan people talking about, oh yeah, it's the oil, motherfucker. Just like Iraq, it's about oil and the fact that we have to destroy any chance of a communist country succeeding. Because they like saying there's no record of it succeeding. Because the people that have been in failed ones, they go all the way to the Trompito side. Ask them Cubans, they'll tell you. They'll tell you.
Where there is no reason to be firing at anything that is floating there. There is no evidence, zero evidence, that a single boat attacked by Donald Trump has been carrying drugs. No evidence of that at all. Not one shred of evidence has been presented of a single ounce of a single drug on a single boat for attacks in which 80 people have now been killed by Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth.
Can you actually make premium clothing on a budget? Let's talk about it. Most print-on-demand platforms...
Yeah. Trump full of herself. Never popped a firecracker in his life. Control freak. You seen that old picture of him laying on the bed like a bitch in his robe? Big soft motherfucker, man. You want me to tell y'all who we really got to worry about, though? Can any of y'all guess who I think we should really be worried about? Really be worried about? I'm ending the poll, y'all. 80% say Ovidio and Joaquin will snitch or testify against their brother. Y'all got any guesses at who you think I think is gonna be the real problem in the future? It's like if Ford went out and slashed all Chevy's tires and then made commercials about how Chevy tires being unsafe. Yeah, no, it's a protection game, you know. I break your window, I tell you to pay me so nobody breaks your window anymore. That's it. No guesses? We got no guesses at who y'all think I think we should be worried about? Let's get to 25 likes before we get out of here. Salute to y'all. Appreciate y'all. Hundreds up for y'all. Is it India? No. Mm-mm. Nope, not India. CEO? I don't know what that means. Boom. Ha cumplido mi condena. Drop that in here. Boom. What's that? 2 beers and a shot. Bow. Appreciate you. Salutes to Oso. Salutes to Zoraida. Putin? Nah. I should say maybe our kids need to worry about. Zoraida said the vice president? Nah. Barron Trump. Tell me if that sounds far-fetched. IB said that's for sure on the vice president. I think Barron Trump's the one to worry about. Tell me if that sounds ridiculous. Oh, shout out IB. You're right there for sure. I'll tell you, that guy right there. Listen, man. I don't know if it was rumor. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was true. But I know that during the election or whatever, he walked up to Joe Biden and said something like, "It's on now." Some fucking kid trying to feel cool playing World Wide War games. Right? It's no different than any kid that I've ever seen trying to play cool wherever the fuck I'm at. Right? But the fact that that kid had the cojones, the gall, the audacity, the nerve to walk up to a president, however flawed he may be. And I understand that he understands he has the power. He's the one, he got his father elected this time. His father already had the jerk-offs that was on his ass. Again, I don't think we had a choice in the matter of either or. You could have flipped them all on their fucking head. Didn't matter to me. But he's the one that told his father, you got to do Rogan. You got to do Theo Vaughn. You got to do Aiden Ross. And he did that. Barron did that. So remember when he walked up and he said something to Joe Biden? Who the fuck do you think you are, little boy? Street lights on. Get your ass in the house. Shut the fuck up. If that kid doesn't put himself in a prison because he does so much wild shit that they can't not lock his ass up, he's something to worry about. To have the audacity at whatever age he is and walk up to a president and say some slick shit to him, mind your fucking business. Get your fucking shine
Go home
box.
and get your fucking shine box.
I was actually thinking the exact thing the other day watching a video of him standing up waving to crowds. Think about it. I think Pete's a little behind on the stream, but salutes. Enjoy, Pete. I think Yoma kidnapped and they still alive. Facts. Baron Trump because he knows how to turn on a laptop? Nah, because his name will get him what he needs, and his ego will destroy everything in his path. An ego far superior to his father. Something passed on to him. He had the nerve at whatever age he is now. How old is he right now? To walk up to a president and be like, yeah, bitch, let's fucking go. You know what I'm saying? But he might go to jail for some kind of crypto fraud or something before he gets to be the age of president. Or he puts a bag on somebody's head. Somebody like me that tells him to shut the fuck up and sit down because he believes that's how the world works. Because he's up there in the midst of war games, walking up to presidents. Think about him at 25 when motherfuckers say, hey, bro, because he's going to have dick riders his whole life. He, to me, is the most, and like Ivy said right here, what Ivy said, he speaks a ton of languages also. And he keeps his mouth shut. You're right. He ain't in interviews. You don't hear from him. I don't know how much of that is his decision, but I know he's in tune. He's watching all the shit. He's watching all the people. He got his father elected by doing that, right? Now, if he didn't go up and say nothing to Joe Biden, I'll take it all back. But that right there, that said a lot to me. Who the fuck do you think you are? Shout out Raven, true, entitled and a bit thrown off. Just a little bit. Preach, church. He's 19. He's 19? Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Your services are no longer needed in the community.
Who the bumbo clot?
If Trump was any kind of man, he would have grabbed that child by his fucking head and said, don't you dare speak to that man. How dare you speak to that man? Shut the fuck up. Apparently, he said to him was something like, good luck. All right, if he said that, then I take it all back. If he said, fuck you, old man, get some. No. Then we're talking about something else. I don't think I ever heard him talk. Does he really speak different languages? Or did Trump say that? I don't know. I've heard him talk. It kind of creeped me out. Have y'all heard about the book? I know y'all have. I know Ivy has. Trump didn't say that. Okay. Any adult, bro, disrespectful like his dad. Yeah. And his dad didn't check him. His dad should have grabbed him by the motherfucker. Who the fuck? Shut up. Fuck you talking to, man? Watch your mouth. Stupid. Huh? The funny part is, it don't matter if he said good luck to him or told him to go fuck himself. Sleepy Joe didn't understand what the fuck he said. He missed the logic in that one. Let me see if I can see the video. Melania checked him? No shit. Well, she's the balls of the whole shit.
A lot of mystery back.
And the motherfucker's like 8'12" and shit. She assumed he was saying something rude. You want to know why, Ivy? Because she knows her motherfucking son.
No.
Shout out Raven. I still yes sir and no sir and yes ma'am and no ma'am my elder. Hell yeah. Until one of these cougars out here get mad at me. Don't you call me no ma'am. Then I chill out. Shout out Ivy. Melania checked him. I thought he was a robot. I never heard him talk either. She assumed he was saying something rude. She knows her son. I'll tell you what, Biden probably didn't know what the fuck he said. Or it just dawned on him what he said. This shit says what he said. If he said anything slick, he should shut the fuck up. Mind your fucking business. She knows everything. She's around and forgot he's the only one that knows when to act decent. She knows everyone. She's around and forgot he's the only one that knows when to act decent. She forgot he's the only one that knows when to act decent? Shout out Zoraida, exactly. Shout out, us moms know our kid and know what to expect. He said some slick shit. He said, "You old bitch." Yo, Barron Trump's a menace to society, man. If that motherfucker went in there and was like, "You old bitch," he is a fucking menace, man. You gotta lock him up. Holy shit. That's too funny.
Got a mystery bag.
Oh man. Yo. Yo, what's up with this motherfucking... This shit is leaning to one side and shit. What did Barron say? Let me see. What did Barron say to Biden? Let me see if they asked his brother's goofy ass.
I ordered 200 hand-forged knives to my dorm room and built a Wix website to sell them.
Do you remember that whole controversy where he went up to Biden, right?
Yes.
And motherfucker, you look like you do periquito ping ping and you eat a full baby for breakfast and shit. They throw you homeless children or some shit, allegedly, in my imagination. I think he's scary as hell. I also think he was trying to be genuine in that moment. All right, I want to see what this guy has to say. This is what you was talking about, I believe. Do you know about the book, though, Ivy? The conspiracy theory, the book? Does anybody know about the Barron Trump book? But the part of what makes him so scary is he's like a Trojan horse. What do you mean? He's hiding it somewhere? I mean, he's there, dog. He's there. He's raised at a certain level. He grew up in this politics game. His father was a fucking TV guy and a dirtbag fucking real estate guy. Contractor. He's up. He's in there. If the United States government is the horse, he's in that motherfucker. If that's what you're saying. You know what I mean? Let's get it.
They had all these like lip reading experts, and they just, and they're like, Barron just told Biden to go F himself. I'm like, so one night, I'm very close to Barron. I love Barron to death, right? One night I call Barron, I go, buddy, what did you actually say? And he goes, it was something so polite, I almost wouldn't even get it right, but like, congratulations and, best of luck to you, or something like that. Something very respectful.
He's Palpatine. Star Wars, he's Palpatine. All right? See, he don't look like he said nothing. Man. So I bought into the internet hype. Fuck you, old man. I don't know, dog. I think with his name, they're going to be behind him. Look at him. He fucking playing to the crowd. He think he cooler than a motherfucking fan, boy. In December. It's like, yeah, Dad, gotta go on Aiden Ross. Fuck is wrong with you, lady? And look at this guy right here. Howdy Doody over here. Yeah, he time travels in the book. Crazy book series where Barron's dad is the last president. We're going to go through that conspiracy theory, then we're going to get the fuck out of here. Look at him. Do you smell what the Trump is cooking? Bruh, that's the one you got to worry about right there, dog. Yo, all of these savages right here are raising their children to vote for this motherfucker right here, okay? That's the one. Bam, 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 bam. You know what I'm saying? That's the one. Shout out 509 on the check-in. Salutes to you. Thank you for coming through, sir. Is that Nick Fuentes right behind him? Here? I don't think that's him. But I don't be paying attention to these goofs' faces. But this the one right here. Worry about this motherfucker. You better hope he has a good heart. Yeah, no, just some other bad-haired young conservative. Look at him. Oh, mad confident. He's like, I am the shit. All the HUDs want me. Look at him. He's like, yo, wait till I get to school on Monday. Fuck is y'all talking about? I hit a fucking button on you bitches. Look at him. Look, he winking and shit. He think he cooler than a fan.
Thank you.
Worry about him. He's bigger than his father. He gonna blow some shit up. Or he's gonna be a nice guy. Oh, hey. All right. Look at it. All right. Yeah, watch how I slap the shit out this old man walking in front of me from where I'm at. I'm long as hell. I slap the shit out. Well, listen to the pop he got out there, man. They ain't gonna vote for this motherfucker. They ain't gonna vote for that other dude that looks like he eats a fresh gator every morning alive. It's this little Maurice. This fucking guy's gonna get it. Little Trump is next up. Yeah, be worried about that motherfucker. Little Chewbacca. Have you ever seen so many people capping for someone who has said so little? They absolutely love him. It's insane. It's a cult. You know what I'm saying? This is a young Anakin Skywalker right here, man. If his old man's Palpatine, this is a young Anakin Skywalker right here. Or his father's Darth Vader, and I don't want to give him that. And this is Luke. But I would say this is a young Anakin Skywalker right here. And his old man is Palpatine's dumbass. And, you know, it can go one or two ways. It depends, you know, what Padme does. I think he did bring that long-ass quote from the 1800s, so I'm starting to think the book might be true. We got to tell the people about the book. I don't think everybody knows about it. We're going to tell everybody about the book in a minute. Let me get through this fucking parade this fucking guy's doing over here. Go dunk a basketball and shut the fuck up. Look at him. He thinks he's John Wick out this motherfucker, man. These fucking guys. America. Yeah. This is America. I don't know what the fuck she's doing, right? She's a pilgrim. 509 says, Shaw, I need you to get into cryptocurrency. Salutes, man. I need to get some money to put in some cryptocurrency. Officer Doggy, scary movie. Is it Dooley? Officer Dooley. I'm filling out my application to join. What are you joining, Big June? This fucking America right here, these kids are done. They've had enough of this shit already. They're like, Dad, enough. Enough oppressing brown people. We were tired. We want to go home. What the fuck am I looking at? Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. I think you should worry about an answer for 2028, not Trump. What do you mean? As far as people I should be worried about? I don't have no answer for 2028. Pete, I didn't have an answer for motherfucking 2024. Nor 2020. Nor, you know what I'm saying? I have no answer. Look. No. This is like a scene out of fucking Terminator or Rocky. 4.
Our approach.
Get the fuck out of here. Y'all can't hear each other. There's no way. He's like, whatever, Dad. Shut the fuck up talking to me, man. I'm here being cooler than a motherfucker. Don't bother me right now.
Our approach to the Middle East and foreign policy in general are fourfold.
That shit is terrifying. But let's look up this theory. I'm going to show y'all this theory of the Barron Trump. There's a book. All right? There's no answer. Who's the answer, bro? John Connor, Terminator. That's it. It's the only answer is John Connor for president. Pure Art Wildin'. He said, let's stay on for another 2 hours. That'll cost you. Shout out Pure Art on the check-in, though. Why does that lady in the back look like a ghost? Because she is. He was at work getting that money. Millions. We got to hide the 2028 answer at all costs until sometime around early October that year. Shout out Pure Art. Salutes. Alright, let's check this out. Quickly. He wants 2 hours. I got a choice between a 2-minute video and a 7.5-minute video. Hold on, this is a 1 of 3 series. If we do number 1, not today, but eventually, but that's from 8 years ago. God damn, they was on it 8 years ago, huh? Here, let's see this 2-minute one real quick.
How easy is it to get health insurance? Watch this. Get Covered Illinois, the state's new health insurance marketplace, certifies hundreds of insurance brokers.
What is the Barron Trump time travel theory? In the 19th century, Egerton Lockwood was a child book writer, and he wrote 2 books, Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey in 1893 and The Last President in 1900. Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey is about a character named Barron Trump who lives on 5th Avenue with a wealthy family. There he has a dog named Bulger, and he goes and travels through portals because he gets keys from his mentor named Dawn, who is the Master of Masters. Now, Barron Trump isn't a very common name to begin with, but it says in the book he lives in Trump's castle. He has a mentor named Dawn, and he lives on 5th Avenue in New York. Where is Trump Tower at in real life? 5th Avenue in New York, and it's called Trump's Tower. Pretty close to Trump's castle. After Barron Trump's marvelous adventures in 1893, he came out with The Last President in 1900. In the book, it describes an outsider who won the presidency who was not supposed to, who lives on 5th Avenue. And after that, people all around New York are protesting and rioting with socialists trying to make sure the new president doesn't get elected. And once he does, he hires a new secretary called Lafayette Pence. You want to prove these books are real?
Did y'all hear that? Or should I play that shit again? God damn. 509, me too, man. I'm trying to retire by 2028 too, man. All right? What I need? What I got to spend on some crypto, man? I got a hot 20. On some crypto, man. I missed it, man. You know what I'm saying? It happens. I'll accept my failure. I'm an artist at heart. Did y'all hear that, though? I'm going to play it again.
Well, you can go to the libraryofcongress.gov website and you'll see. What is the Barron Trump time travel theory? In the 19th century, Egerton Lockwood was a child book writer, and he wrote 2 books, Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey in 1893 and The Last President in 1900. Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey is about a character named Barron Trump who lives on 5th Avenue.
And he looks like the motherfucker. Look at him right here. Look at him. The job's taking all the AI by then anyway. Man, that's fucked up. Shout out Pure Art. I'm going to donate to Shia on Friday. Salute to you. Get that money, dog.
Millions.
Salutes.
With a wealthy family,
He lives on Fifth Avenue with a wealthy family. He trying to travel. Now here, there's more to this theory. Go. I'm going to let it go. Hold on.
He has a dog named Bulger, and he goes and travels through portals because he gets keys from his mentor named Don, who is the master of masters.
He got a mentor named Don.
Now, Baron Trump isn't a very common name to begin with, but it says in the book he lives in Trump's castle. He has a mentor named Don, and he lives on Fifth Avenue in New York. Where's Trump Tower at in real life? Fifth Avenue in New York, and it's called Trump's Tower. Pretty close to Trump's castle. After Baron Trump's marvelous adventures in 1893, he came out with The Last President in 1900. In the book, it describes an outsider who won the presidency who was not supposed to, who lives on Fifth Avenue. And after that, people all around New York are protesting and rioting with socialists trying to make sure the new president doesn't get elected. And once he does, he hires a new secretary called Lafayette Pence. If you want to prove these books are real, you can go to the libraryofcongress.gov website, and you'll see in 1893 Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey came out, and in 1900 The Last President came out. The question isn't, are these books real? The question is, what are the odds of all these coincidences, and is there any meaning to them at all? This is a picture of Baron Trump in the novel, and some people say it looks like the Baron Trump that we have in our world, which I say it looks like him, but childlike features look like childlike features on most.
Okay, now, to add to that theory, it's said by the internet, I haven't dug too deep into it, that Donald Trump, Trumpito's uncle, was commissioned by the United States to collect and archive everything that was found in Nikola Tesla's apartment. Nikola Tesla, if you know who Nikola Tesla is, Nikola Tesla wanted to give you free energy running through the air. He gave you what? The DC current. He went to war with fucking Thomas Edison, and Thomas Edison had his shit shut down, right? And when he died, all his inventions and all his things were there. So it was Trumpito's uncle that found that. What if he found a time machine? That's all I'm saying. I'm done right there. I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, that's just my imagination, running wild with internet information. All right, just y'all take that into consideration, that fucking kid might be a time traveler, okay? First major hole in that story is that I don't think Barron or any Trump have dogs. They don't even like music, so I'm sure they don't like dogs. But come on, the movie can't be like real life either. You know what I'm saying? The book gotta have some, fuck that dog. We got to disguise. We got to throw Ivy off in 2025. So we're going to throw a dog in this story real quick. Looks more like him when he was younger. Facts. All right. This one right here is for Pure Art.
Oye, y el Rocha. Y el Rocha. Bueno, y el
I'm
Rocha.
take a hit, whatever you smoke. Shot. I'm just saying, dog. I didn't create the theory. It's there. But you can have a hit, nigga. I'm probably about to go roll a blunt right now. All right, man. We've been here actually 3 hours and 1 minute. We're gonna make our way. All right, salutes to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Shout out 509. Have a good night. Let me run through this chat. Salute Shannon. Shannon was up in here first tonight. Salute Your Vid Sucks. Zoraida, Big June, Velez. My brother Oso, JP, Shannon, Zoraida, IB. We got an APB out on Vicente. Vicente, show your face by Friday. We come looking for you. All right. Shout out Dago popped up in here. Shout out Vernon Himes was up in here. Raven. Let's see. Y'all let me know if you got any theories. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this, if you got any theories on this whole Joaquin situation. Where's the pilot? Hashtag where's the pilot? Hashtag what about Melissa Quinn? Shout out Raven. 509. Pete Never, welcome back. Good to have you. 509, let me get some money. I'm getting some crypto before it goes crazy. He's a bright kid. Yeah, we're going to see. Maybe dogs can't time travel. It makes sense when they're shorter lifespans. Oh, shit, right? That'll seal a dog's fate. Fast forward him into the upper room. The upper room. All right, shout out Pure Art. Time travel machine, not a crazy thought. Hey, man, I'm saying. An inverted Morbius strip. Probably dogs don't like them. Pure Art, that man's a stupid kid. All right, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to try to get that edited out tonight and get that dropped tomorrow. And we'll go from there. Y'all have a great night. Shout out Raven. I appreciate you. Shout out Pure Art. Salutes Velez, Vicente, my brother Oso, JP. No, APB out on Vicente. Shout out Shannon. Salutes to y'all. Y'all have a great night. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. If you're new to the channel, go check out some of our playlists, some of our other stuff. Check out our other channels. You can find them on the homepage. With that said, I will holla. Peace.
But I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.